132 years ago, a great flood befell the Endless Wood. Waters from beyond our grand realm flooded through, turning roughly a third of this incredibly magical place into something entirely new. But as the forest folk of this great realm have always done, they adapted. They survived. And here they are, 132 years later, and we are all still drowning. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, ladies, gents, and all those in between and beyond the binary of the internet. Welcome back to Near Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, I welcome you to the premiere episode, after a very long time coming, of Steel and Arbor. Homebrew-wood adventure brought to you by, well, the people you're seeing right in front of you. If you don't know who I am by now, I'm Foxy. I use he, they pronouns, and for the duration of your stream, I will be your guide through this lovely little tale. And while that is a tremendous task, I am blessed to not be alone in doing it, as I have a table full of just the most personal people to my heart, who I am so very happy to be sitting alongside one more time. And so please, friends, in lieu of me telling everybody about you, please tell them about yourselves by telling them who you are, where you can be found on the internet, and who you are bringing into this new tale of ours. Starting off with a close personal friend of more than a decade, someone who I've grown close to and grown to know closely in kind, someone who has bettered me and who I hope I can only say I bettered even half as much. I'm of course talking about the one and only Lan the Dan.
Hey, that's me. I don't think I've ever gone first before. But hi, I'm Lan the Dan, and today I'm playing Adlo Tomoya, a Gerbine of great personal valor and hospitable disposition, and a paladin of the Order of the Hospitalier.
That's our guy. A story of reclamation, one of finding yourself in the midst of turmoil, of shining a light on all those beyond, even when it looks so dark inside. Up next, someone I've known just as long, but known oh so differently. Someone whose place in my life is so irreplaceable, so incomprehensible, that I simply cannot see a future that doesn't have them in it. They, of course, know I'm talking about the one, the only, Neon Lights exclusively signed contract, Michelle.
Hello, it's me, Rochelle, and today I'll be playing Coral of the Floodlands Delta Tribe, our otter inventor. A little bit scatterbrained. Definitely know what she's talking about.
But those two great twins, as they say, genius and madness, a story of innovation, of challenging the norm and hoping to find something better in the future made with one's own two hands. The willingness to look at the fate set out before you and say, no, I think it goes a little bit like this. Up next, someone who kind of came into my life in a way that I never expected, but I could not see them as anything more than a great and close personal friend. Someone who I've spent long nights talking to, long nights finding myself with, and in those long nights seeking and finding, I can only hope that we've grown a bond that is as special to you as it is to me. I'm, of course, speaking about the incredible and incomparable Lucian.
Oh, hey, that's me. Hey, I'm Lucian. I am playing Thag Shrubs, our friendly neighborhood landscaper, also known as a hedge fighter. We'll see.
We shall see indeed. A tale of self-definition. The world is a big place. So many things and so many people, each of them trying to tell you who you are. But in the end, there's really only one person that can answer that. And sometimes finding that answer means helping others along the way. Up next, someone who I've gotten to know through this very same space that we share, but who in the time that we have grown together has come to be someone who I value not just because of their insight or their creativity or their incredible sense of humor, but rather because they are an honest person to a fault that I will share with them unto my end. I'm, of course, talking about the one and only Tate Washburn.
That one was me. It was a toss-up, honestly. Hello, everybody. My name is Tate Washburn, and today I am playing Coriander de Clement, the Lapin scout rogue and member of the Order of the Moon, who is just trying his best.
Tale of what lies beyond a twisted shadow. Forces abound, bigger and bolder than any, but amidst all the noise and calamity, it is sometimes the quietest voices that make for the loudest hearts. And last, but if you know who the hell you are, very, very far from least, someone who, again, I have only gotten to know through this wonderful little hobby I've come to share over the past 3.5 or so years. But someone who reminds me not just that there are good people out there, but that the good people we know have a light within them that warms us when it's dark, keeps us lit when it's cold. A person that reminds me at the end of the day that being human is not about going above or beyond. It's simply about being good. Of course, talking about the one and only Sir Hecala.
Stop. I'm gonna cry at the beginning of the episode. Why? That was very sweet.
Explain
All
why.
these are really sweet. It's fine. I'm just emotional. But yeah. Hello everybody. It's me, Sir Heckalot. You know, I'm here. I'm on your screen, and tonight, you will all be introduced to Katya Mastella, the Mapak Warlock, who is an absolute chaos gremlin, and it's going to be a time. That's me.
A story of what happens when the oh-so-utterly divine comes across the oh-so-utterly mortal. And the best thing about the mortal is that it's unpredictable, unknowable, and untamable. Sometimes, that little spark of chaos is the only thing you need to keep the fire of hope alive. Let's see how that goes. Friends, I've talked more than enough except to give you one last simple warning, which is that the tale of the Endless Wood is one of a world that has been set by both hope and calamity. Evil is not a thing that you will find in an individual person or tucked into a corner or locked into a certain thing, but evil is a thing that exists when the conditions for it are allowed to exist. This is a tale of those evils, and the way that people, just people, combat them. If that finds a bit too much for you, or if you find yourself needing to go elsewhere, please step away from the stream, close the tab, put on something a bit more wholesome, grab a snack, and come back some other time so we can hang out with you elsewhere, okay? That said, let's set some scenes. The long summer morning is a wondrous thing. The way soft heat beats against the fur and skin, the way it offers a space to feel warmed by the light rays. Trees so high canopied above you that they look almost unto the sky themselves, casting wide, long shadows as you slowly walk in a group. There are 5 individuals on this long road, busy as it may only barely be. These 5 people, gathered together by maybe circumstance or maybe something more, have recently encountered, well, let's say a bit of trouble. I could tell you all about what happened, but I think it might be best if I just show you. So as our camera looms in through the high trees and past the warm autumn green, or the warm summer greens, the wind slowly rustling fur and feather, we settle in on these 5 individuals who appear to be having a bit of conversation. Friends, I leave the scene in your incredibly capable hands.
When I catch those kids, I'm going to give them a stern talking to.
Coral, it's gonna be fine.
Are you hurt? Are you injured?
I'm not fine. Not fine at all. Just... Do we know anywhere that they've run off to? Any, I don't know, nooks, crannies?
Well, Coral, unfortunate side effect of you guys living in a literal massive endless forest. There's a lot of nooks and even more crannies.
Ah, shit.
Damn.
We can probably
I do.
ask around in Narth.
If it is allowable, I think that Corey has actually just been like looking at the ground and just. No, they went this way.
What did you
Sorry.
say?
One more time, a little louder.
He's sort of like hiding in his hood with his gray floppy ears coming out of it. I've been following their footsteps, and just like one hand sort of points at the ground. I don't know if you guys can tell or not of what he's pointing at, but It's this way. It's
We're going this way then,
And we must pursue.
Coral's
Thag
gonna
will
grab your
slap him on the back and
hand.
go, "Why didn't you say anything? Let's go."
It stumbles a bit. Yeah.
I-
Probably going into.
Drag you by your
town.
hood if I must. I'm sorry. Who are you?
We met yesterday.
Sorry, I got
Any,
to
well, like a very like gentle handout. Coriander, come on.
Coral, nice to meet you. Now, lead the way.
Yeah, that's not going to be confusing at all. He's not
Well-
speeding up. He's still just sort of like tracking, and you can make me roll for it or whatever. Just tracking.
Before you all get too far, go ahead and give me, I'd say survival, or I'll take insight. I'll even take perception here for tracking some folks here. Hold the result for me, though. We'll come right back to it. As before we get too far, let's get some nice physical descriptions, what does this little group of bickering misfits look like as they stand in the middle of the road debating their stolen things?
Corey, since I've already sort of started describing, Corey is a tall rabbit folk, or tall for a rabbit folk. He has like mottled gray, brownish fur, and in particular, you don't really see a lot of it because he has this big, almost like poncho-like cloak that has like a bunch of almost shaped like leaves of various like green to gray colors, covering most of him, and you mostly just see his like gray, long, floppy ears coming out of the hood. But if you look in, he's, like, just kind of always watching everything around him. And he sort of, like, makes himself as small as possible as he's doing, so just a bow on his back, I guess, is the other detail, but...
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I can go next. Katya is, Mopak is a very broad term in the Homebrew-wood groups of different creatures lore. But specifically, Katya is a least weasel, if you've ever seen them. Like in our beautiful intro video, shout out to Eggchan. This very small weasel that is wearing this dark green cloak. Around her neck is this amulet that really just kind of looks like this crystalline rock with a string around it. There's not really that much modification to it. It's just a rock, but it's pretty. It's a pretty rock. And
It's not just a crystal.
Yeah,
It's a rock.
it's a rock.
It's a rock.
What have we done? Just kind of amongst her equipment. I think the only thing like you would really see like sticking out of like her cloak or like any like pack that she has or anything like that. She does have a boomerang, and it's really cool looking too. It's just standard wooden boomerang, but with cool little carvings in it. But yeah, no, that's Katya. She's got this constant, like, very curious, wide-eyed look in her eyes, just seeing and taking in everything she can.
Noted. As the camera passes over Coral's sort of more shaded figure and over Katya, I guess similarly hooded, but much more eccentric in their appearance. I guess comparatively, at least. But who next do we encounter?
I can go. So Adlo, I guess probably most noticeably, he has a somewhat striking red cloak and a red kind of swashbuckly type hat. You can see a strip of blue fabric woven into his cloak near where the clasp is. And underneath it, you can see some kind of plate-looking armor, as well as some sacks and bags tied to his waist. And if you if you look closely at the swishing of his tail, you may notice a bit of a gleam or a shine as his tail is also covered in sort of plated or scaled armor patch as well.
Moving past the valiant Adlo, standing stalwart with cape billowing in the light wind.
I'll go next. Thag looks, as one might expect of a hedge, covered in quills. He's like a light brown color, almost the color of dried dirt, when there hasn't been rain in, many weeks. The most noticeable thing about him, what most people realize first, is the giant warhammer he carries over his shoulder. It is a strange color and sheen, somewhere between rocky and metallic, where it's really hard to really discern what material it's made of. And when you observe Thag, he carries it almost as if it's weightless. But if you look at his footprints, they are significantly deeper than the rest of the party, as the hammer does in fact weigh quite a bit. He's also a little rotund. Not a lot, but rotund in the way that most strongmen are.
We love a thick
Big
lad.
boy.
Yes.
Passing past the impressive bulk of our hedgehog friend Thag, we are left with one left to introduce. As you will, Michelle.
Well, Coral is definitely fidgeting right now, but the camera zooms in on her, we see a average-sized otter, so about 7 feet, silver fur, goggles right on top of her head, and she's pretty heavily armored, a modified breastplate, well-worn bandoliers, and all sorts of just craftsman's tools jammed into different areas. You see a wrench shoved somewhere underneath her gauntlet, there's little tiny tools and Allen wrenches just poking out of various little pockets, and just all sorts of little trinkets on her belt. Her tail's also armored, and perhaps not the most noticeable thing, but if you're paying attention, is a small pistol on her belt, right underneath a shield.
And finally, moving past the interestingly armed for the time, Coral, we have now united our little group, which, reminder, the 5 of you only really officially came together as a group about a couple hours ago. You were traveling in separate groups, Katya, Adlo, and Coral together, and Corey and Thag moving in a group, but the 5 of you as a collective have only really been gathered for, well, a few hours, and then you were recently robbed. Which, speaking of, Corey, what'd that check look like?
I was a 14.
Cool. So then, 14 is not bad. Then I think 2 things happen before any of you get too far moving off of the path to follow after where the kids ran off to. The small group of Gerbine who appeared to... It looked like they were trying to briefly fight you, but not too long after you got into the fight, you recognized they clearly weren't swinging for your persons, but your purses. And then they took off. Not too long after that, so, Corey, as you're looking over, you notice, one, you're following kind of the track of footsteps, and you see them kind of end just under the sort of hollow of a tree that kind of has its roots briefly kind of rooted up. And it doesn't take long for you to realize, tunnel. They went underground. And given the size of the tunnel, probably not one, even Adlo might have some time fitting in that.
Yeah, I think he inspects it a bit, and probably would even take his bow off and just sort of poke on the inside of the hole for a minute with one end of it, and just sort of mutter to himself. It's like, nope, Baz wouldn't even fit. He's like, sorry, it's a hole.
Well, you tried, and I appreciate that.
They probably gonna sell it in town, though, right? That's why you steal stuff.
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
Corey's gonna actually take his notebook out, and he looks through a few, like he has his personal little notebook, and he looks through a few pages, and you see him. He'll just like quickly draw based on a drawing he'd already done of Coral, the earring on its own. It's like we use this.
Oh, did we want to keep going? And Thag's gonna like kind of hold up his claws. I can dig pretty quick.
Your presence here is most fortuitous.
Well, that's the second thing that you tend to be thinking about, Corey, other than just noticing the tunnel. You have business in Narth.
I mean, I don't think Corey would mention that. Just no, I think town. Can you dig as fast as they can run?
Definitely not.
Corey just shrugs.
Thank you, big guy. What's your name?
The name's Thag. It's short for...
3 hours.
You don't need to know. The name's Thag. Thag Shrubs, and he's gonna hold out his hand. I think we did this yesterday, but yeah, shake on it.
I
Now it's
must beg
official.
your pardon on behalf of my companion. Her thoughts are rarely occupied with anything other than her next invention. I can only suggest you prepare to repeat this procedure many more times.
That's okay. I'm better with
The
names of food
defender.
than names of people anyway.
Ah,
Well, it
Speaking of
sounds like
food,
we're
I hear
going
there's
to town.
yeah, I hear there's a festival going on in town soon. So chop chop.
Very well.
Come on, let's go. Push.
Well,
We'll actually go and try and push.
ooh.
thankfully, you guys don't have to. First off, who are you pushing, Coral?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Thag. So that no, actually, I feel like
Oh.
Thag, but like Coral is definitely still like clutched onto Corey's like wrist or something. And it's just like, come on, let's go.
Well,
Does
In my
the
mind,
that's
it's
edit-
Coral.
into the hood. It's like,
She
That's
does
cool,
the Ed, Ed, and Eddie
uh,
bit where like she
yeah.
tries to push Thag and she just like slides backwards.
Yeah,
So-
her feet slide back in the mud.
Okay, but that actually makes sense.
That's so
Coral
funny, actually.
-1 to strength.
Thank you for letting me know that. I mean, what? Well, as Coral tries her best to push Thag along, nonetheless, the group does not have to travel far, as you're all only roughly a few minutes off the road from the main threshold that kind of pushed you past. As the group is walking, Katya, you see the term I'll use is a gatehouse, but a gatehouse is not an accurate thing because a gatehouse usually requires a gate. It's just effectively 2 sentry towers on either side of like where the road thins out, but those effectively
It's
serve
just
as a nice. Yeah, it's a lot, much more house than gate. But nonetheless, these are 2, outward sentry towers you have seen so many separate times throughout your childhood. As, true to form, this is a home for you. You slide past the guard towers and move through again very, very high trees. The Endless Wood is covered in trees that run so many degrees taller than all of you, but this far up north, and as Narth is the most northern tucked settlement in the Endless Wood, the trees here grow, dare I say, even a bit higher. In fact, for those who have done any getting around, Narth is kind of known for its lumber export. Enough babbling aside, as you all slowly move your way in, and I'll pass you over to the map proper. Narth is modestly sized for what you call a town or village in the Endless Wood, which is to say it's one of the larger settlements here, and that's mostly by virtue of just settlement. Civilization is new to the Endless Wood. There is not a single town or village that is older than maybe a century here. The idea of people settling down in communities like this and working together collaboratively to build lives is new to these people. Nonetheless, Narth exists as a prosperous and functional lumber town. It's Lots of long, sort of massive, well, not massive, but tall enough to easily house a story or two buildings you pass. Craft shops, stores, and places to sit and relax yourself. Inns, taverns, and all kinds of other small things you'd find. A storehouse and plenty of other places. A few locations are notable for you, and I'll indicate them as they are noted on the map there. In order of as you'd see them as you're making your way down this primary road here is over to your right as you're crossing that main road. You see a pretty square building that is pretty bare bones, but in fact much more busy than the building itself is this large board outside of it, which appears to have several different postings and writings across it. And there are individuals of all kinds of, make and creed you can see standing outside of it, some just waiting around, others looking at that board, some very deliberately scrutinizing it. That appears to be the Narth Guild Hall, where members of various guilds can either gather work or hire on new recruits or whatever feels appropriate. Across from that, directly across the road, you see the Grand Storehouse, the second largest building, maybe third largest building in all of Narth. And because this is a community of people, Narth operates quite communally. Well, people tend to bring in, their farm yields, their lumber holds, and things they aren't selling for profit, and they store them here at the, storehouse. And they're then distributed by the first speaker and the great families out to whoever needs them. And such, you have a massive building here. Well, while there are stalls outside where people can trade, and there are people trading, the building itself is open, and there are large, storages of lumber and food and flour meal and even linens and other things like that. They're just available for people to go up to a clerk and check out if they need them. You pass out of there into a large, wide open circle where you can see a huge tree, singular and imposing in the middle of the town. This square is already busy with motion. You can see people putting up new stalls and hanging banners and colored red, yellow, and orange, leaflets all over the town, and seems to be set up for what's going to be happening in a couple days, which is the Midsummer Harvest Festival. Directly next to it, and huge and imposing compared to almost every other building, save for maybe the storehouse, going much longer is, the Speaker's Longhouse. Here is where you'd find Chirmatol, leader of Narth and person who handles things around here. There are other things that are around. Some of you might even particularly know of a certain family estate lying off to the north, where a certain family of weasels who are very important to Narth and its festivalhood can be found. And there's also, at least one of you are very keenly aware, a nice outcropping path you can follow out to the old lumber yard, which, while it's always busy with workers who are, harvesting and gathering wood, there are some really wonderful places you can find if you're hanging out there by yourself. Some of you know that very, very personally. Nonetheless, and my spiel aside, you find yourselves, like as I mentioned, friends, in the town of Narth. Some of you have things to attend to, others just want to hang around. If there are things you want to do together or separately, feel free to do them, and we'll carry on the scene from there.
I do think Coriander pulls that page off that I mentioned, hands it to Coral, so you should ask if anyone's seen that.
Oh no! Oh, there you go. I was like, I didn't hear you. No.
Coral's absolutely just gonna try pat you on the hood.
Cory will flinch a little, not flinch, but he's just his head just goes a little bit lower every time when you pat him. Just yeah.
Oh, Cory, did you get a good look at those kids? Maybe you can, give us a sketch. That might help us narrow down who these kids are. I'm sure if they're from the area, maybe somebody will recognize them.
Probably. Town's really not that big. It looks, huge kind of on the outside or first look, but do I know anybody that would be helpful at finding particular people in this town? I know there's a speaker, but I don't know. Before we go to the very top, is there?
Your first intuition is right. If you're looking for really anything in Narth, you can always kind of just, the speaker's pretty open for appointments. You can kind of just walk in and ask him if you're looking for something. He's Chirmatol is known to be a pretty cheerful guy. We'll get there some other time. But outside of that, you have really a couple options. One is you could try the guild hall, see if anyone there is looking for someone, or they might even be able to just hire someone to go look for somebody if that's something you're really looking for. That's an option. Other than that, your best bet's probably just hitting up some of the more notable shop patrons or like some of the other like town notables and asking if they've heard anybody. There's a couple like local gossips you can go catch. You might the people who know everything about anybody, things like that. But as far as like direct lines, if not the speaker, you're probably wanting the guild hall or like a shopkeep.
I already have an idea. The gears start turning. You all can see the gears start turning in Katya's head. It's like, I know just the right place to go and start asking first. I think she's just gonna start motioning and like going that way. She's going to go to the nearest pastry stand.
You'll find there's actually again, I mentioned there's a couple merchant stalls outside of the storehouse, and one of them does appear to be offering a couple of unique delicatessen from across the endless wood as a sort of traveling traveling baker's merchant. They heard about a really profitable business in another realm from a lizard. I'm kidding. That's not canon. That's a joke.
Seven Sons mentioned.
Gotta get at least one per episode. But yes. You could definitely likely the pastry shop you're best looking for. And this is someone who definitely visits Narth on like a cycle, so I think you've had their pastries before.
Oh, for
and
sure.
So you see them in town, you're like, oh, it's them.
Goss. They have the hot goss, and I know they do.
Hot goss, hot pastries,
And the hot buns.
Okay, yeah. So
okay,
hot goss buns.
No.
Hot goss
no.
What have we done? No.
That's got to be the name of the stall now, right?
Now it has to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just the nickname. I don't know.
God.
Yeah. No, it's like, okay, maybe I had two motives by coming here. This person absolutely does know all of the recent gossip and goings on of Narth, but they sell my favorite pastry, and I need you all to try it. Okay, it's this massive sweet bread with some glaze on it. It's called a bear claw. Sometimes there's like different types of like tree nuts on it, but not always. You can always ask for it. And I just find it very fitting with the lore of bears and Homebrew-wood, with it being called that. Because
I
they're
appreciate
huge.
it. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, for those of you at home, there's not really like bears here. They haven't been seen for a very, very long time. They're essentially mythological at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
It's
a
like
very
having a
scary
unicorn
thing.
hoof.
Yeah, it would be a very scary thing to see a bear at any point during this.
It would basically be the equivalent of like walking outside and seeing like an Australopithecus or like a Neanderthal. It's like, wait, that's hold on.
Nessie.
It's like, oh
that's
no.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's like Katya's off to grab some storm bear claws. I just made those canon. That's a thing now. Okay.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's canon. So you all definitely don't have any obligation to like stick together, especially given that like you all, I would imagine, are relatively aware that if you need to get anything from the village here, you can all go see the speaker at the longhouse or go anywhere else. Anybody off on their own, or are we all kind of gathering as a pack? I'm fine either way.
Well, so I think Corey has internally a secondary motivation, so you can decide if this changes any kind of roles. He doesn't want to go to the speaker directly, even though that's kind of the thing he's here to do. And instead, he kind of wants to get a feel of the town and sort of have a mental map of it, as well as sort of observe to see if he sees any signs of parts of his order operating here openly or in secret. If he can collect any information just about like the town itself. He tends to be quite paranoid, and he's sort of like, all right, I want to make sure I know where everything is and an escape plan in case somehow things go bad. He's just like that. So I think he is going to follow effectively, or at least he's going to follow Coral as like an excuse of someone to follow around in town and not look like a weirdo that's just scoping everything out.
All right.
So I do want to know
Anybody
if
else?
I did get a good look at those thieves and would be able to sketch. You can say yes or no, or I can maybe roll my sketching toolkit.
Yeah, do that, please.
Yeah, sure.
And while you do that, anybody else? But for the record, you all have control of your tokens on this map, so feel free to like place your token where you feel like you want to head.
They're so cute too. Again, shout out.
Shout out Egg for the arts.
Oh no, wait. I don't. Wait,
You're-
I gotta
you're-
zoom in
you-
more.
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't set yours right. Hold on. I'm on it. No, wait, did I? Hold on. It should be good.
Hold on.
Did I not? Hold on. No, you should
Oh
be
no,
good.
I can
think.
control it now. I was like, ah.
There we go. I fixed it. Problem solved. So yeah, feel free to place yourselves anywhere you feel is upward or appropriate. Katya, you're probably honestly right where you need to be. That's probably where you're going to find the stall you're looking for. I know Corey's hanging out with Coral. Coral, you heading anywhere? Thag, Adlo, anybody heading anywhere important?
Coral's gonna absolutely follow Katya and
Food, 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 food.
Yeah, Thag is. I mean, there's food. Thag follows.
Exactly.
Or yeah,
My kind of people.
I get a crit, so that's a 25. So I think Corey, like, sort of gently to Coral, like, gets the piece of paper back. Like, he'll just sort of reachy, grabby hands to see if he can get it. He won't say anything, but, like,
he does the Kyle XY thing where it's like he just makes a bunch of dots and it becomes like a photorealistic rendering of
well,
the
I
thing
think he
he's
takes
trying to
the
draw.
original drawing of the earring and he just takes the page, flips it over, assuming he can get it back. And yeah, it's just like 3 portraits of just like the faces and like the exact angles at which they were when they like got closest to him as they were like trying to snatch whatever they were trying to get under his cloak. So they're all at like sort of odd angles and they're not like looking directly at him, but they're still like, I think, pretty identifiable with that 25.
And I'd say that's fine, absolutely. I think even if someone couldn't tell you like, oh yeah, that's this person or something like that, I think the thing that really makes them distinct is that you draw them all, you know, as you saw them, which means you depict them all in the way they appeared to you all, which was all of them were wearing red bandanas. One of them had it kind of like tied to the top of his head. The other two kind of had it around their necks. Actually, one had it kind of like around his shoulder, but they all had a pretty distinct kind of crimson red armband of some kind going on, either like an armband or a scarf or whatever. They all had some bright red on them at some point.
Yeah. I think then as just a bit, because he just has a pencil, or like it's like a charcoal pencil effectively that he has to sharpen with a knife. So I think as he's going and he gets to the pastry stall, he looks and if there's one that has some like raspberry filling, he's just gonna quietly buy that and then take the raspberry and use that to color these red.
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Coral, you kind of get the
Gotta work with
bit
what
of
he's got.
splits and are able to write it down, and it looks pretty solid. And it seems like we're all as a group moving, and so as you kind of move up, you move past the guild house, and you're all kind of like moving as a collective. Katya, you see a couple of people, a few regulars who kind of give you a bit of a quick little wave. Some of you give you kind of a shout and like, hey, good to see you back in town.
Good to be back.
And as you kind of approach, there is Mama Bear is not a bear or a bear like forest folk. She's in fact a weasel. Not a weasel, sorry. She's a raccoon actually, but she's a big raccoon. Like she's a nice hefty woman, big muscle, lots of like large fur. And so when she kind of like
Big lady.
kind of turns herself around and puts an elbow down as you kind of come around, well, if it isn't my favorite little troublemaker.
Shh, they're not supposed to know that yet.
Well, come here, give me a hug, and I won't tell anybody.
Big hugs.
She
Small
lifts you up
paws,
and gives you a
little
big
paws,
one.
a big hug.
Oh, I've missed you, kid.
Oh, okay, my spine. Ah.
And who are these? Friends? I hope customers.
Yes, and yes. But also people who maybe want to talk to you, but over food first. I told them all about the bear claws that you made.
Oh, well, then you're very lucky. And she kind of like, you'll see that, again, literally, it's kind of a big, almost like, maybe like it's a quarter of her size, a large, almost like pot-like construction that seems to be lit from a top with a series of like burning coals that she cracks open. And you can, again, the moment she cracks it open, you are all just blasted with that fresh baked, almost like berry-like pastry bread smell. And she's just, well, you're in luck. These just got done.
Eyes widen.
She does that elderly mom of color thing where despite them clearly being smoking hot, she grabs one barehanded and puts them in a small bit of plastic, or a small bit of, wraps them in a very small light cloth and passes one over to you first, and then starts to kind of wrap up some more and holds up all 4 and just enough to go around, folks.
Oh, now Corey has to actually say something to get this. He's the one with the raspberry, the filling. He's like pointing to one because I think there's like varieties. He is very quiet. He's just gonna like hold up a coin.
She takes the coin. She takes the coin. It's like a silver or two. You can see there's a small little like 2 silver sign up at the top. Takes your 2 silver, holds the pastry out, Corey. But the moment your hand's right at it, she just speak up, boy. I can't hear you.
Because he has the hood up, you wouldn't see him blush as much, but he's like frustrated. Just, I would like the one with the filling, please. And it's the loudest he's been, which is still barely conversational.
She lets it go. It falls in your hand, and again, it's so light it damn near bounces in your hand, lightly. Just, and you're very welcome, darling.
Thank you for the meal. And he is gonna, again, like finish the drawing with the raspberry and then bite into it. And you just see like the pastry go under his hood, and then half of it's gone.
Yes.
Both
I assume
hands
the rest of
holding
you
it.
help yourselves to one as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks,
Lit-
Diego. These look great. I'll pay for everybody. Food's on me.
And just
Your generosity is much appreciated.
like, Carl's just gonna like flick a coin over to Thag. I got an extra.
It's festival season. Don't worry about it. Food's on me.
Y'all just tossing coins back and forth.
Yeah, that's just
It
what it
becomes
is.
a little
bit
No.
of-
Tuesday.
Yes.
Why do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
I work?
Mama Bear takes a bit of a gives a nice hearty chuckle at all of you and just just kind of like, have any of you not had storm bear claws before?
I feel like at least most of them haven't.
I mean, Corey's not going to answer unless he has to, but he's like internally like, this is pretty similar to a different pastry my mom used to make.
Does anybody speak up about not having had one before?
Corey will
yeah,
shake
sure,
his head.
Bag will.
Yeah, because I think Coral has. She's been around a lot of places.
Then, especially because it's you, Thag, as you kind of like go to hand the coins, she goes, "Then the first ones are on me. Enjoy. It's festival season. Trust me, I'll sell plenty."
It's true. There's a line. Just the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, it is again. People are just like coming, like literally the moment the oven opens, people start putting down what they were doing and start walking over. Like it's not a joke.
It is pastry o'clock. You know what it is.
Exactly. Time for my hourly snack
Just
break. Fuck you
all-
talking about.
Bunch of zombies converge. Bear claws. Bear claws.
Oh no.
Endless Woods
She-
residents are hobbits confirmed.
But as she kind of like, she'll again fully, bare paw, no covering, nothing, reaches into the oven and kind of pulls out the whole of the internal kind of like metal structure, all racks of them, several pastries, and just plants them on front of the stand, turns the sign over and puts her bucket down. She turns to all of you, and again, no customer interaction, no like list of items. People just walk up, drop some silver in the bucket, take a pastry, and walk off. And she just turns to all of you and just, "So, what brings you back home? And with new friends, I say."
Well, I mean, it is festival time. I wanted to, first off be there for that, but also to help out the family. Fireworks and all of that. It's a big job. But I guess for the rest of us, the big thing that we're doing right now is looking for Corey, can you get the really cool drawing that you made of the earring?
Hood goes down lower, and now because you called it really good, and just
Takes it. "Oh, well, that's pretty."
Yeah, it's Coral.
Turns it over.
even deeper.
You missing it?
While we were on our way to Narth for the festival, we were set upon by some kids, and I really, really, really need to have a nice talk with them because they just took off with it. It's my sisters.
She turns the picture over, and again, literally without even looking at it, and just, "Ugh, those three.
You know them.
No of
Would you
them.
furnish us with the information?
Furnished is a happy word for it, little one, but sure." Well, these three are... You call them locals? I don't think they have any family here, but they've been around town for as long as I know they've been around. Since they were runts. Here they, don't stick around too much. Fill in with those bloody fang types. They're always often causing little nuisances, doing petty robberies for them. It's a shame.
Can we get them some kind of local job? I can hire them on as assistants. I'm just... Kids.
Kids indeed. It's hard. There's, well, plenty to go around for people who are able to settle themselves in, but, well, it's not for everyone. And unfortunately, there isn't enough to go around everywhere. Sometimes that's going to lead people to do things they maybe shouldn't. Those three are just falling in with the wrong crowd. I hate to see it.
Okay. Well, do you happen to know where we can find these? What? I'm sorry, I don't remember what.
What
You
do
see, like
think?
corals. Yeah.
She
Right. Those.
she actually, her mood, and I think it's maybe not as noticeable for all of you, given that you're not as familiar, but for Katya, I think it's easily recognizable that her mood does glower in a little bit and just... Well, you probably want to find Speaker Tull for that. Normally, he'd be all about the square, talking to people and chatting us up, helping out, but... Well,
Well,
he's been holed up in the longhouse lately. Still takes meetings and talks to people, but... Just hasn't been the same lately. Not since his son.
yeah. That's kind of why I wanted to come to you first, see what you might know or suggest. I didn't really want to bother him too much.
I think you should. You tend to bring a lot of light around people. Might be what he needs.
He might need a bear claw too. Can I take one for him?
You can take two.
Yeah.
She leans over. Now, if you're planning on sticking around for the festival, I'll assume that means I'll be seeing you a fair bit these days, so don't go getting in too much trouble, yes?
Fine.
And you four, I assume you're assigned the wards of this little scamp, so I would ask you help her stay out of anything too harrowing, yeah?
Sunshine? Sunshine.
Ward? As in responsibility?
Yeah,
Admiral
Corey behind
will-
Thag, just like slow shake of head. Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're not
Adlo
my
will,
parents.
We'll think better of saying that that Coral is actually his word.
It's like, what do you mean Sunshine's getting in trouble? She makes the most amazing. I can't remember. I think it was like a colorful powder, like mini explosive powder. I think it was last
Yeah,
time.
for my friends.
Like she makes the most incredible like I've never seen anything like it. It's so cool.
Mama Bear sees all of your varied reactions to being called Katya's ward and just... I think you'll all get along just swimmingly. Now then, I've customers to feed and other things to do, so there's no more gossip.
For now.
I think that Corey will sort of like just lean forward a bit and just. Do you use apples or oranges for the blaze reduction?
She leans over and just... It's actually a sweet berry mix.
You see him write a note down in his notebook.
Anything that I have to do in this festival? Like, are there any like specialties? I gotta, yeah, I have to make the most of it.
She smiles. Meet someone new. That's about it.
Meet someone new, eh? And he's like side-eyeing Katya, Coral, and Adlo. Okay. I can meet someone new.
That's never been his problem.
You always be making friends somewhere.
Which in turn has been your problem.
Yeah.
She goes, "Now, if I were you all, I'd recommend running along. If you catch the speaker in time, you might be able to make it back out here by the first Songsmith performance. They're practicing around this time."
You're so right. Let's go. Runs out of the store.
She, as Katya takes off, she just looks down to the four of you. I'd get used to that.
Slow nod.
Girl's just has like this dawning face of realization of, oh, so
I-
that's what it feels like.
I
Yeah,
thank
Thag
you
is
for
also
your
gone.
words of caution.
Thag took off after her.
Oh no.
I mean, Corey's fallen, definitely.
All right. Well,
I'd assume he can see most of the town from here enough that he feels comfortable to like. I know how to escape. He's just that way.
yeah. I mean, so Corey, I think even without needing to like get an overall roll, I'll say that just like getting a good sense of. 'Cause I know you have pretty solid passive perception anyway. So I think just as you're kind of looking around the town, one, you don't really notice anything. I'd say untoward or weird, except for a couple of things. One, even for a town of this size, there does seem to be a bit less guard presence than you'd expect. There are some various Mapak and a couple of other ancestries walking around with what look to be, simple, kind of gambesons and shields and maybe like a light pole arm, and even some of them have a helmet or two. So there's clearly someone serving in the sort of guard militia role, but they are either understaffed or just don't have the means to equip that many guards. It's hard to tell. Second thing you're noticing as you're looking for, more specifics to like your order or things like that is you don't really find much. You do find what looks like it's a symbol you've grown accustomed to. It looks like a small kind of carved moon, but it's angled downward and has a sort of small, almost like floral inset in the middle of it. It looks like it almost was drawn upside down, but you know that this symbol is usually drawn to point towards something. As you're walking by, you glance just like, again, it's carved into a tree almost like the just south of the guild hall. And as you kind of glance below it, you can see there's a nice, it's a carved hollow clearly, but it's carved very, very cleanly so as to look like it was maybe dug by an animal or just natural tree decay or something like that. But you can see it's a drop box. It's a thing where you would leave information, resources, or something like that. Or if you were expecting something, you would go there to grab it.
Then if he can, he'll like walk by that as casually as he can manage on his way to following his friends, just to like peep in if there's anything to pick up. I think he already has his orders of what he's doing here, right? So he's just checking it.
I think even without getting too close, you can kind of see that like it doesn't appear there's anything in it at the time, which means it's probably more of a thing for when I get any intel on the speaker, it's probably meant for me to put that there.
Yeah. Well, it's probably back and forth. He's just checking to see if there was any news.
Yeah. Nothing new at current.
Like walking by a newsstand, yeah. And then he's gonna follow them. I got the movement. I can do it.
So, gang, grouping up to go see the speaker or heading somewhere else?
I'm going to the speaker.
Yeah.
Man, when I first made this scene, I was like,
I have to follow my ward.
When I first made this scene, I was like, oh man, I hope they don't all get split up and I get during like 7 different micro scenes. I don't want to spend too much time.
Yeah.
And then you're like, go to here. And I love it. It's my favorite thing. Thank you, friends.
Corey's just happy to have an excuse for doing all this. If he was alone, he'd feel like the most awkward motherfucker, just like walking around town and observing.
Hey,
then to the
you don't
guild
look
hall.
suspicious at all in your big cloak.
Don't be
Power of
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
As you're all
Don't be
moving
suspicious.
and you're making your way
Don't be
around,
suspicious.
kind of gathering up, there are a couple things you do see on your way to the speaker. One, Thag, you see what looks like someone working on a stand, like working on building up a little stand. And while the stand isn't built enough for you to know what they might be selling or presenting or anything like that, even from the way they're bent over, you can see a bristle of spines about their back. You think you might be related?
Hmm.
They do seem kind of busy.
He's going to not hide because he physically can't hide behind anybody in the group, but he's going to put himself on the other side of the group from that person.
You slide past Adlo and Corey over to the other side, and as you're kind of moving around, thankfully, as you're kind of like, I imagine you're keeping like an eye on them to see if they like look up at all. Thankfully, they spend the whole time kind of bent over and working on whatever, like, you know, whatever part of their stand they're working on. So they never notice you, but you're aware they're in town, and probably for the festival, given that they're working on something. So.
Oh, is the family crest on the top of the stall?
It's not built up enough yet, but it,
Okay.
you know, you would imagine it'll probably be there when it's done.
Okay.
Looks at Thag moving. Looks at the hedgehog. Does not make a comment because that feels like it'd be insensitive.
Secondly,
You could try hiding behind two of us.
It's too many thoughts.
Secondly, Coral, as you're walking by, you do see a jewelry stand being finalized, and they're putting their product out now. A nice long jewelry stand, and they do have a collection of, you know, exotic earrings and bracelets and things. You don't see yours, but it's a reminder, just, you know, solidly in the back of your brain of like, that's the thing I need to get my hands back on, of course. Again, because it's a little important to you. And thirdly, as you are walking past, you know, and walking up towards the longhouse, just behind it, you guys can see what looks like a patch of grass with a rough fence around it, and several, mostly wood, but some a bit more defined with rough stone, you know, effectively just wooden structures and small stones stuck into the ground. I'm not going to hold the metaphor for too long. It's a graveyard. It's the Narth's graveyard. And while it doesn't seem like it's overly massively full, I mean, again, it's not a huge town, obviously, there are at least a couple of, you know, more stone-defined structures there. One you can see does appear to have what look like old flowers thrown around it. And, you know, it doesn't look any bigger than any of the others, but it looks like recently several people around the town stopped and came to, you know, offer some flowers to that particular grave. It's too far away to see whose it is, though. You might take some guesses, however. I think, Katya, you probably have a solid guess on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Another one does catch another one of your eyes, though, and I'm sorry to hold you off on the scene before I get you all to the speaker. I just need to give you all these small little details.
Yeah.
About next to that grave with the flowers on it, maybe 2 or so spots over, there's another smaller little stone hovel on it that appears to have a symbol carved into it. Again, you're a bit far away to really get a good sense of it, but it looks almost like a sun, like a circular structure with several points out of it, and either what looks to me maybe like a, you know, mostly it's just that. It's roughly carved and clearly was done by someone who only saw whatever symbol they were trying to draw in passing, but it's close enough that the person that would recognize it does. Adlo. That's the symbol of your order.
Praise Golan.
That's about all you all notice, friends, as you're otherwise free to enter into the longhouse. It's as busy as you'd expect, given that there's preparation for festival happening. People moving left and right, some carrying stacks of paper or bundles of structures or other things and moving. Katya, as you're entering, you do see from behind a large stack of like wood and other like colored like boards, a head does poke out, a familiar looking, older looking weasel head. It's an aunt of yours. She looks out and does give a quick little wave and just, I'm a bit busy, I'll find you later, okay?
Okay.
Blows you a kiss. Good to see you! And keeps moving. Otherwise, it's relatively, again, a decent hive of motion, several structures, and there's a large sort of like, almost like a miniature storehouse to one side where some more important kind of like personally controlled items are that are more important to the structure. In fact, Katya, you know that would be where your family's firework reserve that's being used for the festival is going to be held. So as that's being, you know, stocked up and also emptied out by various people moving around, you go up a sort of small flight of stairs. No one stops you or says anything to you or anything like that. As you approach a door, there is an older looking, it's a serval actually, so taller, almost, you know, deer-like individual with sort of like not shaven, but kind of like, smaller antlers kind of curving back behind their head, and has a bit of a clipboard in her hand, and just here to see the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
He's free.
Oh,
I
you're the
think
best.
as sorry.
Oh, that was it.
I think as he was going up the stairs, Corey like reluctantly, because his cloak is kind of like a poncho thing. He folds them back, like two parts of it back, so they're over his shoulder, and you can see the cloth underneath is like a bright, vibrant green. Or no, it's probably like a silver actually. It's like not metallic, but it's like silver, and exposes that he's like his leather vest and armor and a belt with these 3 moon symbol, waxing full and waning. And he looks more uncomfortable now that he's not, like, as subtle. It's like a symbol of his office in his order, and he's like, I have to be official. So when asked, you want to see the speaker, he, like, as best as he can, speaks up of, I'm actually here as an agent of the moon, of the Order of the Moon, to talk with the speaker as well for official business.
She cocks her head a bit at that and just... Interesting. Go on, then.
Thank you.
Oh, and they're with me too. Points at the other 3.
Hi.
She gives a wave, a light bow, and kind of, steps aside. There's not really a door, more just a door frame that is arched. It has a bit of decoration all around it with various sort of depictions of Narth's history across various ages. And as you slide through the entryway, you are greeted by portly-looking Gerbine, sort of very, very, some large cheek structures, kind of like barely sitting a pair of like round glasses about his head. You can see the lines of age sort of wrinkling into his forehead through his fur, and has a sort of like mop of light black with bits of gray in it, kind of roughly strewn in a kind of almost line going down his head, and has a bit of a nice refined robe strung about his shoulders, which is very well tailored about him. And while it's not fancy, this isn't a king's robe or anything, it does look like it's a nice, well-maintained piece of finery. And as he's, is looking over and kind of like hunched over something, as you all enter, he just... Oh, my apologies. I'm happy to speak with little Katya.
Yeah, hi, speaker. I brought some food. I have a quick question to ask, and she's just like slowly like pushing the fair claw like across the desk. She made it across the room like fast.
He takes a moment. He kind of stretches against his desk for a bit and just, I could use a snack. You always know when to show up on time, don't you, darling? Come here, please.
Hugs.
Takes a bit of a bite and just... And you've brought some friends.
I have.
Some interesting friends. He looks all of you over.
Corey's attempting to stand away from the group as to not impose on they're doing, because he's like, nope, I'm doing a separate thing. I don't want to interrupt. Like, the picture is with one of you guys instead, probably Coral. He's like, nope.
Dag will take a step forward, and with this being somebody fairly important, he will hold us and go, Thagrius Shrubs, good to meet you.
Stands up. Jermatol, Speaker of Narth. A pleasure.
That's all I had to say. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it's fine. I wish you all would have found me at less busy times. The Harvest Festival's upon us, and that means lots of work here in the office, so... I'm head down as always, but still happy to take any questions or inquiries. It's my goal as speaker to make sure that you are all comfortable here. I know some of you are locals, but are any of you new to Narth?
I mean,
First
it's
time
been...
here for me.
Oh. Coral's just... I don't know, Adlo, have you been here?
I may have come through once or twice before on my travels.
I might have passed through. What was that when I was still working on the prototype for the? Oh wait, that one exploded on me.
And he just, I think I've heard about you. You're from Forgetown, yes?
Yeah. Coral.
Stands up. Shirmatal, Speaker of Narth. A pleasure. Sorry, it's repetitive because I do it so often. Yes, I remember mentioning the last escapade you had outside of our gates about a year or two ago. He does sort of sullen a little bit, very, very slightly sullen a bit though, and just my son gave me the story.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow a crater in the path. It was just a... Look.
That was you?
Now, Katya, we needed a new place for our welcoming stone anyway. It's fine.
No, it was awesome. I just didn't know that.
Hey,
Your
but like...
patience is commendable, my good sir.
One does not get where I am without taking a bit of a forward approach to unique individuals.
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm actually not that sorry.
He leans over.
I fear I
Apologies
may
aside. Sorry, go ahead.
I fear I may have found myself taking a similar approach.
He takes a bit of a smile and just, apologies aside, what can I do for you all?
We ran into an altercation on the outskirts of the city on our way in, and we were hoping that you could provide us with assistance.
My apologies to hear that. I'll help however I can.
And Coral's just gonna pull out the picture, the very nicely drawn picture, which I think, if you don't mind, like, I think Coral's actually going to, like, just infuse it a little bit with one of her abilities, which is magical. I think it's magical tinkering or whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is magical tinkering. So, like, not only does it's basically using the drawing or the picture that Corey made and like sort of like projecting it as a 3D image instead.
And
Like,
you almost see Corey like moves a little, like he's going to correct like depth or shape. He's like he won't move.
Coral, for clarity though, is this using magic at all? I think it's up to you ultimately.
I am investing a spark of magic into mundane objects.
Then in that case, Jirma does perk up a bit. A mage? In our very midst? Huh.
I'm not a mage, I'm just an inventor. You know, like messing around with the energy here and just figuring out how it works. That's...
Dearest, if you've not heard, magic is a thing we are still getting very used to in these parts of the wood. Well, everywhere in the wood, to be honest. If you can do anything like this, you're a bit of a mage, like it or not. Nonetheless, this is a pretty piece of jewelry. Yours, I assume?
Yeah, and she's gonna flip the page over. We're looking for these kids. They kind of ran off with it.
He glowers immediately. Ah, I see. Yes, we've had quite a few encounters with that little bit of ruffians and the crew they accompany.
It's... Pardon me if I'm... Just... What's... Why do those kids admire these... What are the names again?
Criminals, he says. It's beyond me. And I bother not thinking about it much these days. Bloody Hand have come to Narth, well, not too long before I took office. They have been a persistent thorn in our side. Occasional small raids and stealing of supplies are nothing to deal with, but when a winter is particularly bad or things get desperate for them, well, needs must. We've clashed with our guards more than quite a few times. We haven't come away without casualties. We are aware of where the bandits are hiding. An old hollow not too far out from here. I simply don't have the manpower to spare.
Well, if you know where they are, and like, just gonna... hey, Corey, do you have a spare page I can use for map drawing?
Or he's just back here like, yeah, I can. And he will walk forward now, having to be like more center of attention. As I can. Would you like to? He's like gonna hold that. He's not gonna tear a page off unless he has to. So if you wanted to draw it.
Oh, like I'm fine with leaving the map with you. It's just, hey, kid, I just need a place to like start drawing like a rudimentary map. Can we, Mark? Where
I
are
do
they
love
on?
this. He's gonna hate handing it to you, but I feel like Coral would just like not notice and like take it because he's still kind of offering it out, and he's just like looking over your shoulder like.
It looks
Well-
very much like a sketch, like a rudiment, like it's like a diagram, right? Like like an inventor's like diagram sketch, but like made towards a map, so everything just looks uncanny valley.
Katya, make me a history check.
Ooh, okay. I'm not very good at those, but I will try.
DC isn't that high.
My best. 13.
Enough. You know where it is.
Oh, yeah, that spot. Okay.
Yeah, and if you want, Katya, you could easily take the map, and I'll get you guys back on the map in a minute so you can know where you're headed to. But yeah, it's compared to where Narth is, compared to the size of the Endless Wood, it's not really that far northeast of where you are. It does cut into, the deeper parts of the wood where it's not as, well pathed, obviously, but it's not that far.
Is it at
Maybe
all
half a day's
close
travel?
to where I met my friends?
Your friends are near the old lumberyard, actually, not too far out of that
okay.
way.
Okay. Good to know.
Good thing you remembered that, though, because we'll get there.
It's all up here. Big brain.
All up there. Proud of you. Well done. Yeah, Katya, you're able to
Remembering
easily
things about
take
my
the...
character? That's wild.
You're killing it. You're killing the game. We're off to a great start here, friends. Now we gotta get your AC above 12, and then we'll be great.
Hey, it is above 12. It's 13.
Look at that, friends. We did it.
We can pack up and go home now.
Hey.
We've won
I'm
D&D.
sorry. We love you. We love you lots. Now,
No, now we have to go find the blood gems.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, thanks. That's what he said.
oh
Remember,
god.
the Emir don't want you to know this, but the blood gems in the tomb.
They're free. You can just take them.
I'll post the meme again. God damn it! Don't make
67
anyway.
blood gems.
Always do. Always post them even.
Always
Every
do. It's
time.
so great.
Seven sons.
Any case, as you all look at the map, Katya, you pass the map around, and as I prepare to find the meme, it's Chirmatol does kind of look up someone and just, I'm sorry, your old ears might be misleading me. Are you all offering to go clear those ruffians out?
Yeah.
I mean, well,
we're
I
the
am
manpower.
at an Oh. Wait. Sunshine?
I'm not in the habit of turning my back on those in need. I'll gladly lend a hand.
It would be more than appreciated. I can't proclaim that we're any Dyesville in terms of wealth, but I'll pay you in any way that I can, certainly.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm just here to get my
Very-
earring back.
Very quiet under his breath. It's like, you could probably pay me in those pastries. Those are pretty good.
Corey, didn't you have a question that you were gonna ask? Something official, something official.
I love that Coral is the one doing this, of like pushing him forward, but he's like, well, I didn't want
You, do your
to.
job.
Well, he's like, I didn't want to interrupt your conversation. It's, and then to the speaker, as Speaker Toll, I'm here as an official representative of the Order of the Moon. I've been told to be at your disposal.
He takes a moment and just...
Slight
Order
bow.
of the Moon Agent. Here. That's interesting. I didn't make any requests for such, but I'll appreciate assistance nonetheless. Any helping hand is certainly enjoyed here in Narth.
Mhm.
And I'll say anybody here, but to not have a Seven Sons moment, only 2 of you max can roll an insight check here.
It shouldn't be
I'm
me.
probably pretty good at that.
I will volunteer to be one of the 2.
I will cede the role to somebody else.
I have a pretty good
So-
insight, so I'm definitely gonna roll that.
Like,
Bad,
I'm a
Corey, hit
horrible
it.
judge of character. Don't do
All
it.
right.
That's a 24, baby.
The 23,
Ooh.
damn.
23.
Damn, that wasn't bad for either.
Look at
Y'all both got
She's
19s.
poker facing right now.
Uh,
He's poker facing right now. He's clearly not trying to be like hostile to you or anything like that, Corey.
Mhm.
But that I didn't request anybody here is very telling. It's very much like
Mhm.
it's like you're at work and you're doing your job and your boss walks over and goes, "Oh yeah, Janice told me you wanted some help on this." And you go, "Oh, did she? Yeah, I'm glad to have the help. Thanks."
I think the only thing Corey would say to that is, I'll be happy to help these four in helping deal with your blood fang problem.
And that will be an assistance I could certainly appreciate, regardless of affiliation or anything else. He says, again, kind of dropping that, like,
Yeah.
veneer of, like, I'm trying to be all democratic here, he's
Yeah.
very much just like, all right, you know what?
Mhm.
He says,
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't want to keep you all too long. You're all offering me more than I can. If there's anything else you need while you're in Narth, or if you plan to be here for the festival, then please, find me if I'm needed. I am always happy to be of assistance.
Festival is
Thank you.
definitely very important. Are we gonna miss anything important in the festival if we head off to handle this situation you've got first?
It's about a half day's travel out to the Old Hollow, there and back. Assuming you can deal with the ruffians without too much effort, festival isn't until tomorrow evening.
Oh, perfect.
And again, it's pre-noon right now, so assuming you guys headed out right now, you could get there, take care of things, assuming it doesn't take you too long to do so, get back, and maybe even have time for a quick break while on the route there or back, and make it back in time to be back by tomorrow night. Like, you would sleep on the road, certainly. You'd be traveling out, you'd be sleeping on the road, or maybe even in the Hollow, depending on how it goes. But yeah, you could make it back before the festival itself proper kicks off. And the festival is a full day's thing. It starts tomorrow night and goes effectively into the next day. Yeah, no, they're not a party in Narth, all right? It's not a game
Yeah,
around
they
here,
do.
okay? We're not to get
Alright.
down around here.
Great. Well, let's be on our way, and let's get back before the festival kicks off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew, is there anything you wanted to do first before we go? I mean, like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I really just wanted a snack, so I'm good to go.
Let us away then.
Ancients keep you all safe, and thank you again for your help.
Slap bow.
He sits back, and it does look like there's a notable, like, lightness to the way his shoulders relax now, as if there's a weight that's been unexpectedly slightly lifted. Not just yet, but just the idea that you all might be able to go and take care of this bandit problem sounds like something that helps him. And as he kind of sits back some and just, I wish I could offer you more than just my well wishes, but things are a bit tight here as far as guard power goes, and I need all my folks here for the festival. So, be safe, be well, and I will hope to see you all again very soon.
You can count on it.
He ruffles your hair a little bit. And if there's nothing else then, friends, I think this is a really nice spot for us to give ourselves just the barest bit of a break.
Yeah.
So, as our heroes set off on their first group adventure to the Old Hollow, let us take a brief moment to recharge and defuel as we need to. Friends, please touch not that dial nor that browser. Thank you for being here with us for our premiere episode, and we'll be right back with a bit more Steel and Arbor for all of you. Take us away, Heck.
And we will be right back.
We rejoin the scene of our heroes on their first collected travel, passing through the south edge of Narth, past the old lumber yard where Katya has so many memories, moving through a low wood and following along a river. You know eventually you're going to have to cut yourself off of the path. Not just because it's not on the path, but also because The path don't really go too much farther north from where you're headed, actually. Um, Turns out, Narth is again the northernmost settled territory in the Endless Wood, and so as you all dip off of a sort of roughly trodden dirt trail onto sort of uneven pathways and sort of slopes and faces and rises and hills and cliffs, you move into, dare I say, untamed wild. There is a low gathering of nature all around you, trees rising higher and higher and higher up to the point where they don't even become actual parts of the forest. They're more just like the landscape around you, part of the sky, if you will. While there are smaller trees that offer lower views and places to climb, the Endless Wood is vibrant in a way no forest naturally made could ever possibly be. And life tingles all around you. There are light birds fluttering and insects buzzing. As the wind continues to trickle by and the forest, or I guess the river, grows more distant behind you as you begin your travel deeper into the wood, you know you're hitting. Well, Katya, the road out here is hitting a part. It's starting to get to the part where like you haven't really traveled this far out too often, so the road becomes a bit less predictable, or I guess the path becomes a bit less predictable. But you know that if you guys keep on your path here, you'll hit a couple of cliffs you can kind of descend down for a while, and there's supposed to be a nice clearing down there, which if you get there by evening, it's probably going to be a good place for you guys to maybe pitch up and get some rest for the evening. And you're cresting, a large tree bend that brings you maybe, I'd say, a couple 100 feet from that, like, cliff descending area, so y'all are making some good progress. But otherwise, the forest continues about you, sprawled light greens and grays in every direction, and the scene is left to you, friends. Any topic on your mind? Anything you're doing as you travel? Any otherwise going on?
Corey's gonna try and talk with Coral for a second. Because Coral drew a map in his notebook, and he's looking at it, and I think that he just, for a minute as they're walking, he's like he's building up to try to talk to her, and just, I need to ask you about the symbols on your map. And he's holding it. And he's gonna like point at various parts of it, and what's this mean? And like, because I imagine that Coral, in a very engineering way, has put like little notations or like used different symbols for mountains or valleys or cliffs, and so he's just trying to like get a sense of that. It's like, this is not how I usually draw maps.
Not just that. I think also Coral is sort of like put like sort of like offhandedly some notes on like, so you'll see like for example on the path to Narth you'll see like a little bit of a hexagon symbol, and just sort of like various different like almost like runic script. That's where she's found some different different ruins that she's delved into. Just like, oh, this one is a ruin dedicated to one of the, I believe it's a Juggernauts, question mark. One of the Sentinels.
Was that
Yeah.
Sorry, one more time. I lost it. I zoned out for half a second there. I had a Turk moment. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Damn.
I think so what I'm saying is Coral has like basically noted in rune script, sort of like as like sort of like a shorthand, the different ruins that she's explored, and like there's a couple that have been like dedicated to a couple of the Sentinels.
Yes. Indeed, that is true.
And
so, like,
as you talk, Corey flips to the back of the page and like recreates the symbol and says, "What does it mean?" To like sort of complete the map, because he was looking at this like there are just all these extra little notes and things. It's like, you do this freehand that quickly and remembered the location of ruins that you've already explored in the area?
Yeah, just don't ask me what any town names are called.
In a rare moment of sass, he's like, the one that was Narth. Like, pointing to one of the towns that you didn't label.
It is not labeled. There's like literally a hexagon drawn like almost on top of it, which is, what is it? I believe that was the Myriad, Aliawea.
Yeah. I don't know if I gave you the name or not, but I did do that, indeed. The
He'll
hexagonal
continue.
symbol you have drawn, it just seems like it's almost like a hex. It's meant to be drawn like a hexagonal hole almost. It's kind of like a simple hexagon's shape, but occasionally it's drawn with some ornate framing around it. And Coral, you've seen it in a couple different places. Mostly, honestly, in your travels around Northwood, actually, is where you've tend to seen this symbol.
And she might even point out like this general area is where Aluea tends to, or at least signs of Aluea tend to show up.
I think that part of the camera shot of this notebook is there's an additional page that has been ripped out just below it, and we get like the quick flashback of Corey left a piece of paper with a bunch of symbols that no one else would understand in that little hollow before he left. That he knows means that the target is mourning and is suspicious of our order. Like further notes to come. It's just like this quick update that he has stashed in there. But then back to the moment. It's like, huh. Interesting. Like he's not really gonna say much.
Yeah, and I think, especially because I know Adlo and Katya, y'all were here for the moment where you encountered that hexagonal symbol on that stone out not too far from Narth. But Thag, even if you're close enough to hear, and Corey, as you're being presented to it, I think all of you, I mean, you all grew up in the Endless Wood, and I think no matter what way they came to you, whether they were in ancient folk tales, times in your studies, or in, bedtime stories to put you to bed, all of you have heard of the Sentinels. The four ancient beasts, older far much more than the Deluge, that have been asleep for a full century, but have slowly begun to stir. What they truly look like is, honestly, even the legends aren't really fully perfect on them. But they are beings of incredible power believed to have been guardians of the Endless Wood. Aluea, the Myriad, Delatre, the Shadow, Slot, the Rumbling, and Carcanos, the Tide Eater. So I think there's definitely a moment of interest, because I imagine you can say which of you it is up to, but again, especially over the last the last decade or two, there have been, dare I say it, rumblings that the Sentinels are beginning to awake. That they have been spotted, leaving their ancient places of rest and moving again. To what end or for what means, no one seems to know.
It's probably not Corey. He would at most start looking around a little more reminded. Like, oh yeah, they might be moving around here somewhere.
Katya, you would know that even though it's, rumors have been spreading around, if you've heard of them, it's up to you again, no one's had any sight of Aluea in any of the, 20 or so years since the Sentinels have been rumored to be reawakening.
Yeah.
I mean, which means most people assume that either means she's still sleeping, or she's out rumbling the deep parts of the wood that haven't been explored yet. You're coming up on that cliff area, by the way.
I mean, and I'll look at it. I mean, has anything changed? Is there anything new?
I would say not too much. Again, this is probably about as far as you've gotten now, coming this far from Narth, this far north at least. And it looks pretty similar to some of what you remember. A series of kind of rough plateau-like areas with several rolling, stony cliff descents. And similar to the few times you've climbed and descent this place, you can notice that at some places there are large uprooted trees or logs that appear to have been, whether purposefully or just by nature, slammed down and slanted against these rock faces. In some cases, allowing for, decent climbs down. But that outside of that, unless you're a decently skilled climber or have, some ancestral help from that, these cliff faces can be a little bit difficult to climb. Some might call them difficult terrain.
Hey.
Nonetheless, you all notice that there are, again, a collection of these sort of plateaus and platforms, and while it's very, very far in the distance, the place you're standing up at is high enough that you can see down the rise, and sort of down those rises and sort of along a nice forested path, you can see that ice open clearing, a clean, flat field with sort of stone beds, sort of loosely sprayed out. Any of you survivalists among you know a perfect place to make a camp for the evening. As the sun is kind of slowly seeping into the late afternoon, it's probably going to be maybe another hour or two if you're keeping up at the pace you're moving before you really want to stop, but early dinner's never bad.
Yeah, I think Corey would honestly almost silently rush ahead and start prepping it, and just sort of like generally gesture to everyone else. And he's gonna attempt to set up spaces that he will imply should be where your like tents and things should go without saying it. He wants to try and
clarify.
land this.
Y'all aren't there yet. There's still the nature of the cliff to descend, actually. In fact, as I think I've moved you all over to the map now properly, you'll all see yourselves positioned, on this sort of back corner here, assembled as it were. There are, again, these several series of cliffs to descend, and then again, at the end here, there is a long path to follow, maybe down another 50 or so feet before you hit the clearing you actually want to rest in.
Misunderstood. Thought you meant that was at the top, not the bottom. Right.
No, sorry. That's on me.
Corey's
Nonetheless,
still gonna sort of rush to the edge to survey everything and get a good look.
Absolutely. If you want to give me a perception test to kind of, or it could be all on nature here too, if you want to get a sense of like the area, the biome.
Is better. I would say survival seems like the right one for this, to be honest.
I think, depending on what you're looking for here. If you're looking for like, what do you think you're scanning for? Like, like just how to get through here, how to.
Well, I think that for him, the first thing is always danger, signs of people passing, or maybe predators around, and then next is okay, what's the best pathway down? But
survival will be fine.
Danger. That's a 25.
Alrighty.
+7. That's expertise, baby.
So while Corey is surveilling the area for signs of danger or anything, how are the rest of you approaching this? Anybody moving towards you can definitely climb down. It'd be difficult terrain, so double the movement cost for each square you move through. That's kind of on the. I'll say it's the darker gray. Like the lighter gray still counts as kind of like the lip of the the level you're on. Otherwise, you could just take the log, and then that's perfectly normal. Just climb down without too much effort or difficulty. Otherwise, I'd say you guys can just go ahead and comfortably make. I'd say you can make. This isn't a combat encounter or anything. Obviously, you're just moving. But I'd say if you want to, make your movement and then like make a roll to like check out the environment or do a thing or anything else like that. That's like an action, as it were. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just kind of move twice your movement, and then we'll kind of once everybody's done that, no order to it, just do it and do what you want. If anybody make any rolls, just let me know.
Then Corey beat that roll, and then he'll move 30 feet. Do I get to do the whole 60 since I got the bonus dash action? It's just like a rogue that's real speedy.
If you think you are trying to dash, I mean, if you're like, if you're like running ahead of the group. If you're running ahead of the group, then I'd say you can. But if your goal is kind of just like to keep pace with them and like survey around, then that's up to you.
For now, it's keep pace. I just want to know my options are.
Yeah. Then otherwise, go for it, friends. You should all have control of your tokens. I hope.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you have a climbing speed, does this the same thing apply?
Yes. If you can climb, you can climb normally.
Okay,
Climbing.
great.
If you have climb speed,
I
you can
had
climb
to look up
anywhere.
my pox. They have a 20
What
foot
if you
climbing speed.
can jump?
Oh my God.
It is a
Not take
drop.
damage.
It is a
It's
drop
like-
down.
It's
So
50
like
feet.
you could jump it.
That'll do
but
damage.
It's
Another
15 feet.
If it's less of a drop than you can jump normally, is it
No, if
still...
it's more than 10 feet. It's 10 feet is the these
Yeah.
D&D rules. 10 feet is where after that you start taking damage. A D6 per 10.
If you drop more than 10 feet, you take damage.
Hmm.
It's only a.
You don't
I think
mind
it's a D6 per 10 feet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Starting after 10 feet, which is always.
You also
good.
could just use the log. It's you're not under any
Yeah.
immediate pressure.
Thag is gonna shrug and walk down the log. It definitely dips a little in the middle when he gets there, but he just kind of keeps going.
Coral sees like that Thag makes it down okay and is just gonna shrug and
Yeah, actually-
also, like, log.
That was gonna be the thing. As soon as it doesn't fall apart when Thag and his giant fuck off hammer goes down, Corey would follow back behind.
Listen, I just want to embody the least weasel in the intro video.
Yeah.
That's just a little leap off and climb around the rocks.
Absolutely.
It's so
As
good.
yeah, and I mean it makes sense. As Katya, you've traveled about this far, so I think you know some of the more comfortable path to climb down. At least some of the first few levels of this area here. So as you scamper your way down, and everybody else makes their way. Adlo, did you jump or did you take the tree?
I took the tree.
Cool. The safe routes.
I need to get back up though.
It's a mimic.
I'm not that mean, friends.
It is very funny to me that you can jump higher than like you not take damage.
Yeah,
If you're like,
I
if
don't
I have a
get-
really good strength score, you could do more than 10 feet, and that technically rules as written.
Yeah, I'm a
So-
little taken aback by that.
So
Okay.
as
I
a
just
curiosity,
damage myself every turn if I want to.
I mean, yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I would honestly homebrew with it, like, honestly, for like a 10 or like maybe 15-foot fall, either like half the damage or like just not do it, because like if you're used to jumping 10 feet in the air, you can probably handle a 10-foot drop without too much if your body's literally built to survive that much impacts. Like that makes sense to me, but we'll deal with that as it comes up, as it's relevant. But I agree we should house brew that some. For folks who didn't do double their movement, are there any actions or rolls being made here?
Can I check
Already
out these
decided.
flowers?
Yeah.
That's a free action.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yay!
I use the pittance and the rope in my Dungeoneer's pack to make a little mini sort of like climber's kit, I guess, with Scroungecraft.
Give me oh, that's a feature of yours, right? Do you have to make a roll for that, or is that just a thing you can do?
I can just let's see. I have professional integral tools. I can construct crude but functional versions of common items using materials present in my surroundings. That takes 10 minutes to craft these materials, and a tool piece worth of adventuring gear worth 30, even capable of passing 30.
All right. So 10 minutes is definitely, I'd say if you want to do this while you're moving and do it quicker than 10 minutes, give me a crafting roll. How
Okay.
quick you do it will be based on how well you roll.
All right. How do I? Let's see. Let's do Tinker's tool.
Go for it.
I'm gonna use my.
I will say, being a Mapak, we also have a Scroungecraft as well.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, that's what
it's the feature. Okay.
Yeah. I'm having her roll to see if she can shorten the time on it.
Oof. Tinker's tool with a 10. I rolled a 3.
You're working on it. It seems like it's not even that like it's not working. It's more just that like you need a bit more of weight to put on this to really drive that pitten down into like this stone. And so you have a nice little climbing rig, but like you need to anchor it a bit better than just like try to drive that pitten into the ground, especially if someone like Thag takes it down. Yeah, it might not hold. So you have it made, but if you want to make it as like a full-on, this is a climbing kit, you need some more time to keep working with it.
Fair enough.
Which I will allow on subsequent, rounds or anything else if you want to like, keep making checks to see if you can like lower that time some more. I will allow that as like a bonus action possibly. We'll see. Any other actions being taken, rolls being made before I have let you guys move again?
Just that survival of 25. I don't know what I got out of it. Just
Oh, and you were just looking for obvious sense of danger, yes?
yeah. Is there been any like predators around? Any people around? Just like a yes or no. If I just continually do that, would be fine.
I would say you definitely know this far out into the wood, the chances of running into a predatory creature are much higher than they would be,
Yeah.
on the roads. MMORPG rules, obviously, right? But while I think it's actually, let me quickly do a thing. I think you are definitely getting the sense that this kind of area would be a great place for predators to call home, as it offers them a good opportunity to, like, take down prey in open field before they can get away, obviously. I think doesn't seem like you are immediately aware of anybody.
Just keeping an eye on like ambush spots then, just as we're going down. I'll keep rolling every turn if that's what it's takes, or if I can just like use an action to sustain the previous roll effectively.
Fair enough.
You decide.
Here's what I'll do. Go ahead and take one more round of movement, friends, if you want to get another round of movement in.
I'm gonna pick some of these flowers.
Go for it. Also a free action.
Yay.
Now I do have a rope that we could use if we needed to like climb down.
If you have someone with a high enough strength check to be able to like drive it into the stone, I think I will absolutely allow that. Especially combining with with now it will still definitely require like a roll to like kind of like descend properly without like hurting yourself, because it's not like a full climber's kit, like what Coral's working on. But you could definitely get a rope that would make the climb a little bit faster. If not, you have to make sure you get a roll so you don't fall. Everybody moved?
Yes.
Adlo, do
All
you
right.
move?
Nope.
Adlo, go ahead and move. All right. In that case, Corey, are you taking action to sustain your last roll?
Yeah. Or re-roll. Up to you. It's whatever.
I think I'll allow you to keep that. Give me a reroll actually, if you don't mind. But I'll also do a thing to make sure that, in the spirit of fairness.
It's
22 is not
much
bad.
better.
Yeah, we'll take a 22. I closed the thing I needed to have open because I'm a fucking moron. Here we go.
Should I make
That's
another
not true.
Tinker's Tool roll then?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. How's the 23?
23.
Much better.
Yeah.
Big number.
Coral, you pull out like I don't know, like a spare like counterweight for like a project you were working on that you already pulled out, and you're like, yeah, and you just like tie the rope around the pit and around that, and like give it a good nodding a little bit, and you're like, oh yeah, if I get a good swing on this will drive right through that stone. You're pretty solid. You've made a good climbing kit. So you or anyone you let use the toolkit can definitely climb at full speed without having to make an action. If you use Adlo's rope, it's full speed, but you have to make a check for it. Or you can jump it. I don't know. Have fun. Live your truth. Not your dad. However, yeah. Okay. So yeah. So okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. I'll be fair. And here's what I'll do. I'll do this one. So I'll be transparent and say, none of you are getting surprise round.
Yay.
Yeah.
However,
I mean,
as a strange bit of quiet kind of settles in, and as Corey, you're keeping your eyes, I imagine you're kind of looking for like places where someone could kind of like hide in the scrub to spring out or things like that, keeping an eye around, and you're
Also
keeping an eye on
sounds,
things
too, of like clearly something is moving in a direction, stuff like that. I imagine Corey has a good sense of
absolutely.
hearing.
And you're kind of listening and keeping an eye on things. And I think it's as you're looking around thinking like, no rustling in the bushes, no sound of stones being turned away or, leaves being rustled as, in under the tree brush or anything. And that's when you start realizing, no. If a predator was going to ambush someone from around here, they wouldn't do it from there. They'd do it from above. And that's when your ear flicks somewhat and something far bigger than it should comes rushing
Oh.
out of the trees. Friends, initiative rolls.
What is that?
Hey.
Oh boy.
What are
A
those?
canopy stalker, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Katya, you, I think, are at least somewhat aware of these things. You've probably at least heard like hunters and other gatherers talk about like having to avoid, they call them canopy cats somewhat colloquially sometimes. But
Canopy cat.
Canopy cat.
all right, let me get my turn order up for all of my friends here. Everybody in initiative?
I was waiting for a second. So remember to select your token and then hit
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Oof.
Only
All right.
11.
Descending order puts. All right. Even though it's not your turn to respond or do anything, Tate, I do want to know, because you definitely pick up the sound in the instant before something leaps at you. What is Corey's immediate reaction when a much larger than him cat comes literally pouncing down at him from the tree line?
It is smooth and efficient. He immediately, before anything else, hand up in a symbol I don't think anyone would recognize because it's supposed to be sort of tactical, like a hand symbol, and is says clearly, enemy approaching. And in the same motion, reaches for a bow and draws it. And if he had a chance to even bonus action move, it would be dashing backwards to put distance.
Well, it's unfortunately, I don't think in this instance you would, given that it's still given that you avoided the surprise round, which is
fair.
my give there, but you still
It's
got
just that quick. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna have this canopy cat go ahead and jump down at you. He's going to literally, again, it's maybe a good 20 or so, maybe 25-foot drop out of the tree. It just leaps, on its haunches and propels itself on very powerful legs straight down at you. It's gonna land right there next to you, Corey, and it's gonna make an attack. So once I remember that I have a sheet up. So here comes the first one. That's a 7, and the second one, 21.
21 is definitely gonna hit.
You're gonna take 9 slashing damage, and I need a strength save.
Okay. That's an 18. I only have a +1 to that.
Well done. You're good. As you, thankfully, because you avoided the first attack, you don't get the.
Sorry.
Yeah, 9 damage total.
Man.
As this cat leaps down, and again, it seems like it just wants to like literally just pin claws into you and drive you to the ground. The first slash, you were able to kind of like step back and dodge, and then as it kind of lands, it immediately leaps back at you and drops another claw at you, and it kind of slices a bit across your torso. Scratches some armor a little bit, but you're otherwise okay. But these things are clearly very determined predators.
All right, I'm going to, as a reaction. Oh yeah, as a reaction, I get to move 15 feet away.
Go for it.
And it's 1, 3. It's actually gonna pass sort of behind and next to Aldo over here.
Adlo.
Or Adlo, excuse me. I'd sort of, he's checking to make sure Thag and Aldo are aware of this situation, but he's mostly focused in on enemies.
Well, in that case, I'll pass it over to the next turn as that cat lands. And again, as it lands in front of you, and you can all see this large, imposing cat figure with, again, a bit of spines going down its long shoulders and its long, slender tail, again, with a bit of a jagged spine at the end of it, whipping back and forth, its eyes glowing as it looks at you all a bit. Katya, I think you know enough of stories about canopy cats to know they don't hunt alone.
Yeah.
Well, as you all see this creature jump down, any immediate reactions, and as you do so, it's over to Coral.
Actually, have a reaction if that's okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm going to invoke my stone rune. Because it ended its turn within 30 feet of me. Let's say wisdom save.
for me?
Yep.
Oh boy! Oh, this is a magical thing, yes? Yes?
Yes.
Cool. Then I'll roll that. That's a 21. Oh, I'm sorry. I had my GM roll on. I just realized I'm gonna screenshot this so I can make sure that I'm not bullshitting y'all.
I believe it.
I'll turn my GM
I
rolls
believe
off for the future, but yeah, that
All right. No, that's totally fair.
21.
All right. Nothing happens.
And I think it's
Understood.
actually, I think I will still give you this information though, Thag, for the sake of your effort. As you, first off, what does it look like as you're doing this? Give me like, take me into the zone.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, for those in the party that have been paying attention to Thag's appearance, around his neck he has a string of quills that have been threaded that he wears kind of like a beaded necklace. And as this canopy stalker jumps out of the tree line, you see one of them glow like an earthen brown color very briefly before almost snuffing out. That kind of looks down and goes, "Damn, I should have done something."
And I think actually, Thag, that's what kind of tricks your brain, maybe just the tiniest bit, is like, you definitely felt the rune like reach out, and you felt like what it looks like when like a creature kind of like tries to oppose magic with its own will, and you feel like this canopy stalker gave a surprising bit of effort in its resistance for a creature. Which I don't think Thag would be. Hey, how familiar do you think Thag is with like natural creatures? Do you think you got like a nature skill or anything like that?
Yeah, what's your nature like?
My nature, it's not great. He's decently perceptive though.
Then I think you just get that sense. This thing was able to offer much more resistance to your magic than it feel like it should have been able to.
Okay.
Coral, over to you.
Sort of spins around, goes, "Hey, what the?" And she's going to. You watch as sort of like the articulated armor on her
course, nice.
shoulder, or
Fine,
his,
fine.
yeah, it like starts to like light up a little bit, and she turns and is gonna run up a little bit before just slugging this cat in the face.
Fucking megalobox, do it!
Damn.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
Look, no one attacks the bunny,
A 19 hits!
Okay.
so it's gonna take 10 thunder damage and now has disadvantage on attack rolls against anyone besides me
Oh, it's unhappy.
until the start of my next turn. Alright, and I think that's all I can do. Well, I might have a... Do I have anything with a bonus action? I might have
Do
some
ya?
spells with a bonus action.
Take a look at that.
They're a little
Eh.
artificer, I'm not sure you would.
Yeah, I'm an artificer, so...
That's alright. You walk up and slug this canopy cat, and unfortunately none of you are actually close enough now, so this one's just gonna jump down to here. And you know what? It will take the dash action and run up to Katya.
No.
Can't do anything yet, though.
And it does seem interesting. Katya, how much do you think you listen to the like local tales and talks about canopy cats? And or do you have any nature skills or anything like that?
I mean, as a young child, probably a lot more. She probably remembers from that.
Oh,
Recent
then I think you
particular interest, maybe not, but
Oh yeah, then I think you remember something that you've heard about in the stories, which is not a super uncommon thing to hear about creatures in the Endless Wood, but it's a nice thing to remind you and let our audience know. You remember a very distinct part of those shallow stories about canopy cats. They eat magic.
oh no.
Yes, friends, several creatures in the Endless Wood are what are commonly called by scientific terms arcanivores, meaning they have an innate
No.
sense for and consume magic.
Ooh.
No.
Good to know.
I love that term.
That's
Arcanivore.
cool.
Carnivore.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! Katya, it's over to you, friend. You have a friend.
Yeah, that changed what I was gonna do a lot. I feel like. Let's see. Do I need to look at my features? Do I actually have? I don't know if I have two weapon fighting or not. That's like. Let's see the number of attacks I'm going to be able to do. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, great. Yeah, knowing with that knowledge and seeing how that super cool like magical attack kind of like, or even just like the rune thing, like there's something funky going on here. I think Katya will communicate to the rest of the group. It's just like, I don't think magic's really gonna work. They eat it. Be careful. And I guess she's just gonna take out her two daggers and try to hit them.
That's gonna respond.
I should
That
say-
explains a lot.
I should say, and I think, I don't know if any of you are particularly... Do any of you have nature skill, by the way?
No.
Then, Corey, you would know, Arcanivore does not mean immune to magic. It means slightly more innate resistance to it, and the ability to consume it in like its raw form, usually by eating other magical creatures or things like that. It does not mean immune to magic. Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think because he's in this dangerous situation is the only time you have heard him really speak up effectively. And he will say, resistant, not immune. Still will work. Like, flip short.
I see. Ooh, okay, then. No, I think we're just gonna go back to plan A then.
I love Plan A.
Yeah, we're gonna do plan A.
Anyways, I started blasting, right?
Yeah.
That's what the A stands for.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Armor of Agathis on myself at 2nd level.
Why don't you tell me, because I think this is the first time we're actually on camera getting a description of Katya's magic and its uniqueness.
Oh,
Why don't you tell me
yeah.
what this looks like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna flavor this spell a little bit differently than how the, the textbook Armor of Agathis is, because it's like ice or whatever the fuck.
Well, that's our fashion class. Go on, have
yeah,
fun.
it's like,
Yeah.
no, like, it's not gonna be ice, at least it's based on, the patron of Katya. It is more of like these sharp like protrusions of if you've seen like the shelf fungi coming off of trees, it is a lot more like that. It's just kind of this armored spot of like, you know, particular areas of like probably the most impact. So like around the neck, kind of like as a frill, and just like places that would be like where a cat would probably go for out of the different places. So that's what the armor kind of looks like. Yeah.
The armor forms up and around you, and as the cat does, again, fix you with the direct stare and kind of roil on its haunches a little bit, you hear a voice begin to slowly echo throughout your mind a bit. Friend, friend, friend.
Friend. We're in danger, please help.
Not friend. Not
That's
friend.
not friend. Yes.
Carry on.
Okay. That's action. Okay. I don't think I'd have like other bonus actions I can do. Yeah, not at this point in time.
No quicken spell?
Hmm?
No quicken spell?
No, I'm a warlock.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not a sorcerer.
There's a warlock into that.
So yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right. In that case, Adlo, it's over to you.
All right.
Save us, pal.
Okay. Well, actually,
Save us, Paladin Senpai, please.
well, if you insist. Since Katia is all armored up, Adlo is going to, the rest of you are going to feel what would initially seem to be like the beginnings of rain, except it's only for like a drop or two. As Adlo has just thrown holy water on all of you, so that he can cast Bless on Thag, Coral, and Corey. Which is range of 30 feet for up to 3 characters of my choice, or 3 creatures of my choice. You bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw.
All right, then.
So you all get bonuses. And then that does take my action, that particular spell. But I am going to... but then I am going to move.
Yo, I picked these combat tracks like a year ago, and
They're
I'm
so
like, damn,
good.
damn, dog.
Good job.
I'm going to move to where Coral is, and I am going to attempt to distract the what's it called? The canopy stalker next to her. In that I am going to use my bonus action of help, which I get to do as a Dravine. So Coral will have advantage on her next attack roll on this canopy stalker.
Absolutely. As Adlo takes off into the fight against the canopy stalker facing Coral, we slide the camera over to Thag. Take it away, buddy.
All right. I'm gonna start off by using Giant's Might.
As you do.
Yep. You all watch as Thag breathes in and almost inflates. He does get significantly larger.
The biggest boy.
He's gonna just amble on over here. And
Excuse me, pardon me.
He's gonna take a swing at the canopy stalker with the Thagomizer, the big hammer over his shoulder.
It's so good.
Much like how people use a sledgehammer, he kind of shrugs it off his shoulder. It pauses for a moment at its peak and just comes crashing down on the canopy stalker.
Absolutely. You're now about its size, at least from where it's kind of crouched down to. So yeah, fully take a swing. That's a hit.
All right. And then. Yeah, and then I also add. Hold on.
There-
Transmite is an extra
D something?
6, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, 1d6. Gotta relearn how to do all this.
I
There
think
you
you have a
go.
thing in your sheet you can click on to make that like automatically apply when you roll your damage. But there's another 6 damage.
All right. Yep. So that's
The
15
global damage
total.
modifier.
Yeah, no, you turn around and you come up with this large over the head swing and just smack right down on the side, like upper shoulder flank of this canopy cat. It literally rolls over. Again, at this point, almost fully ignoring the Katya it was chasing down. It sees you as the much more bigger and imposing threat, comes back up out its haunches and roars at you.
I'm just a little snack.
Do we have a problem here, big guy?
I think he does.
It just
I think so.
anything
too.
more, boss?
Nope. That's it.
Coriander.
Cory is feeling a little outdone considering everyone here just demonstrated cool magic, and he's got a bit of a stick, which isn't entirely true. So I can see that.
Are you?
I know where
Are
the
you
two
telling
people-
me you speak softly and carry a bit of a stick?
God damn it.
Out of
Straight to
curiosity,
jail.
do I see the ones to the north of us?
Yeah. No, I put them on the map on purpose. You guys, I think, would be
Yeah.
fully aware that like the trees are rustling back there.
Yeah. Then Cory is going to, on the spot, just sort of rotate towards them. And rogues have an aim feature for a bonus action.
Hell yeah.
Was one of the things they updated. So not gonna move, and instead just, I imagine what it is he sort of plants down on one knee, draws the bow, and what you see is he pulls one of the leaves out of his cloak. And as he pulls it, it gets this like long, it's like he's just pulling a whole arrow out of his cloak. Notches it, because I don't think he says anything. It's just an instant point of focus. I'm gonna have advantage on this attack.
Let fly. 18 hits.
18,
I remember you get
oh,
your bonus.
and I do get my sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
Bless.
So that's 12.
12 damage. You let fly the arrow. It strikes true. Again, lands shoulder flank of this thing. And again, it gives a bit of a pained and angry roar of challenge at you. Anything more?
That's all I got.
In that case, funnily enough, it's his turn.
Yeah, I figured.
And yeah, I mean, Wild Beast, I think he's actually going to go ahead and do the smart thing and dive for you. It will take both of his actions, but he had to do that anyway, so... Actually, I should probably measure this out. Let's see. What's that? Hold on. My bad, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, 70 is fine. He can eat 40-foot movement. He's good. He leap and dives as he comes barreling out of the tree. Again, Katya, as you're like stepping back from this one canopy stalker, another one barrels behind you, heading straight for Cory. And up next is
Another one.
I'm gonna reaction to move. He doesn't have a lot of dancing room now, but we'll move sort of back to back with.
Do you get that more than once?
Coral.
More than once around?
No, once around, but I get my reaction at the beginning of my turn.
Oh, true. You're right.
So yeah, I don't have any more reactions, but I don't really have reactions yet as a rogue, so.
Fair enough. In that case, I went too far. There it is. It's its friend, who will also just dash as far as he can and basically end up, yeah, pretty much right there with Katya again.
No.
uh,
I've been sandwiched.
actually, I think he's, yeah, a little bit, yeah. And then we go back over to our top of the round. So in round 2, our friend up here dueling it up with Adlo and Katya, or with Adlo and Coral. Let's keep it simple. Adlo, highs or lows?
Lows.
8. Oh, and a D12, meaning it's going for Coral.
Aw.
But
Well, that's
hold that
good.
thought.
That's
Hold that thought.
holding that thought. I'm holding that thought. I'm holding the thought.
That's an action. Oh, shit. It doesn't say if this is a. Oh, actually no. Go ahead.
Going ahead. First one, 16.
Not gonna hit.
Then nothing. Second one.
Also
9.
not gonna hit.
Yeah. And then in that case, it is
Imagine
actually.
the claws just scraping off the armor.
Yeah, it's just literally, it tries to find purchasing you, Cora, and realize it has to put a lot more force into its leaps than it actually is, and realize it doesn't have the momentum quite, so it's going to literally push off of you, and using its movement, it's going to try to break away.
Y'all
Not on
can-
my watch.
Reaction
Gonna
attacks.
punch it
Go
again.
for it if you want to.
We're gonna punch it again. Punch. Does a 14 hit?
And
14.
you have advantage. Oh,
Well, 14 does hit, actually. Funnily enough, beats it.
Take
For 11 damage.
thunder.
Ouch! Adlo, you are you reacting as well?
oh yeah, I'll react. I'll take
Go for
an
it.
attack of opportunity.
Take a swing.
Just gotta check something.
Or I guess more accurately a
Just
stab.
back away from somebody with a sword. Like, come on. I'm pointing it a rapier right at you. You can't do anything and expecting nothing
Listen,
to get you.
they're ambush predators. They're not going to stay in a big brawl like that.
That's actually more fair, honestly.
Plus, they get bonuses when they pounce on somebody. I mean, what?
18.
18 hits.
All right, and then just all right, 1d8.
-9. Yeah, the camping stalker pulls away. As it does, Coral, you get a nice boom uppercut blow, making it back up somewhat. Adlo, you slide through with the rapier and kind of slice through the flank somewhat. It gives a pained and sort of a roar of denial and slinks back and sort of takes off back towards the tree line with a notable limp in its step. That's his turn. Coral, on to you.
If it's running away, then we're gonna deal with the one that's attacking Kathia. So
Yeah, I
So-
think
Flip.
honestly, Corey would
What?
probably like signal subconsciously to his hand of like, you go that way. He didn't say anything because he expects you guys are watching when you're not.
Coral's back is literally to Corey, so she just kind of swings around and like I think this looks like as like that she like turns in the exact opposite direction of being able to look at you, Corey, and just
Oh, yeah.
starts like sprinting this way, and is going to go and slug the other, well, whichever canopy stalker comes first. So I guess this one first.
Up to you.
You
Yeah.
Twice? Or no, it's
Swing
your turn,
it.
sorry.
Yeah, it's your
Oh
turn.
wait, yay!
Yeah, you reaction attack. It's your turn. Swing.
Awesome.
Swing, ho!
I'm gonna swing at the one that's closest to Kathia, so we're gonna go for it.
24 hits.
How's a 10?
10 damage. The one that's diving for Katya, as you knock one away, you turn away and just backhand it as it's coming at you. And again, similar to the last one, it clearly sees you as the bigger threat as current. Anything more?
That's it. Basically, this one right here that got hit with the 10 can't attack Kathia without taking disadvantage now.
True that.
Can't attack
Uh,
anything. I think that works, yeah.
Canopy Stalker a la Shrubs.
That's me.
Allah.
Here comes some attacks at you. Actually, do I do that first? Nah, he's gonna do the smart thing first. Here comes some attacks. I pressed the wrong thing. That's not what I meant to press.
Yep.
The 19 hit you.
Oh yeah.
Take 8 slashing.
All right.
Does a 13 hit you?
No.
Then take only that first 8 slashing.
Understood.
And I think since you're a bigger target and he knows that breaking away is probably going to be harder for you, I think this one's going to stand and fight and slug it out with you. I think that makes
All right.
sense. That seems like a big fair, friends.
Yeah.
But,
Because it clearly is fighting him as like a rival equal as opposed to prey you would pounce on. I feel
Yeah,
like
exactly. He's the pack leader. He's the leader of the friend group. Katya, that's over to you.
Okay. I am. See, this. I feel like this is the worst spot for like anything ranged I want to fucking do, because it would be a
Yeah,
disadvantage.
if you can get out of there, you might. wanna-
Exactly. If I can get
Might
out of
just say
there,
fucking
I'm gonna
run it.
do better. So the thing that I'm gonna do, yeah, it's a tricky spot. So yeah, I'm gonna bonus action Misty Step out of here. I think that's just like the safest option. With literally like either way I go, I'm gonna get 2 opportunity attacks potentially. One is a disadvantage, but the other isn't.
I think I'm gonna argue that OG over here is too focused on Thag right now. He's a much bigger target
Okay.
than you. So just him.
It's him? Okay.
Okay.
I like my odds a little bit better.
And plus, you have the armor where the whole point is if you get hit,
Exactly.
they
The
get
point is
hurt,
to get hit.
I think for the same argument as to why he didn't run, he's a bit too focused on fighting Thag right now. I think that
let's do
seems fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Okay. So yeah, I'll move over here like
Reaction attack at
Yeah.
disadvantage. That's a 17.
That's still gonna fucking hit me, but at least it takes damage for it.
How much?
Don't mind. I'm gonna use the
That's a
cloud
great
rune
question.
here.
Let me
Oh.
see. I think it's 5, but let me see.
I know. Lucian has a thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna invoke my cloud rune. So you see a different one of the quills light up. This time in like a kind of a mix between white and blue. It's gonna hit the other canopy stalker as a gust of wind kind of blows its claw and it like falls off balance.
Absolutely. It
Oh, you
swipes.
pick a new attacker.
It's almost a weird mixing of like as Katya becomes mist, this weird slight mist off of Thag's magic lets her just slide past. The canopy stalker swings, and Coral, the one you're brawling and boxing with, you kind of not purposefully, but as you're kind of like handling its claws, you maneuver it so that just the slash just swings in and hits the flank of the other one, making him give out a bit of a pained roar. That's 6 damage to his friend.
Hell yeah. Okay. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast then.
All right, but what's this look like? What's happening here?
I think the
Mark is
Eldritch
done.
Blast. So, I feel like the kind of motif color. I feel like characteristic of each warlock that we establish at the beginning of each campaign. The
Warlocks
motif
are a
co-
fashion
Yeah,
class.
it is absolutely. The motif color for Katya's magic is more of like this kind of green, like greenish yellow color. And yeah, like as this Eldritch Blast like launches at this canopy stalker, the impact is more like spore-like as it bounces off. It's not really just a like fiery or like lightning bolty kind of thing. It's just like a poof.
Noted. Give me a roll.
Yeah. 7's not gonna hit though.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, boss. I'm sorry.
I hope it makes him sneeze.
You are blessed. What's
Yeah.
that? Let's add it. Is that
Was
D4?
I blessed?
Oh no, Katya wasn't blessed.
Oh, she was.
Oh, oof. I'm sorry.
It's like-
we know who
it's
Admiral's
like-
least favorite is now. I'm kidding.
It's like I don't even. If I rolled a 4, I don't even know if it would help. I don't know though.
Yeah, that wouldn't get you over. I'm sorry. I don't know why I give you
no,
over like that.
it's okay. Well, it's like I have a thing. If I fail a roll, I can roll a d4 because of talisman stuff. But like, if it's not gonna matter, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, that wouldn't give you enough here. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, friend.
No, it's okay.
You lash out at it, and it definitely does see you, especially given that you use magic to do so. So it's certainly aware of you, given that it just missed you. But as you blast magic at it, it just leaps to the side somewhat and rolls its head around to you, and you can see its lips curl in a bit of a growl. Adlo, it's yours.
Ah, lovely. All right.
I have a question that might be relevant to Adlo's turn and mine. The guy down to the south there, is he like leaving, or does it look like he's backing up to return?
He definitely ran backwards. It's... Give me a nature roll.
That's an 18.
On an 18, he's running. His plan was to kind of turn back around and attack, it looks like, but he's too hurt. He's not stupid.
Okay. I think that Corey is again trying to like indicate. I think he noticed that he wasn't noticed. So if he could say something like, "I think he's done." He has the time before that just to communicate.
That's fine. Fucking the
Okay.
free action.
Sure. All right. Adlo is going to move up to next to where Coral is again. And I'm going to Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a swing with the rapier, or take a stab.
Take a swing. Do you say anything to Katya or to Coral as you run up next to her?
I don't know. Something about you're still under my protection.
I love it.
Yeah.
Take a swing.
Yeah.
A 15 hits.
All right. 11.
Damn.
And then, how's this thing looking? Just
Not great. You get a good stab in, like it goes. It's like where last time you kind of scraped the flank. This is straight and true. Like it definitely goes in and pierces something in this thing.
Okay.
It doesn't go down, but it comes back and does look very wounded as it kind of like recoils somewhat.
Okay. In that case, I am going to use my first divine smite.
Go for it.
Which is an extra 2d8 of radiant damage.
Roll it.
That's radiant, right? Yeah.
Unless you roll poorly here.
Oh, it should be a 2.
I did roll
let's
poorly.
see. Poorly, but first off, what's it look like? What happens here as you kind of like channel your own divine energy into this strike?
So like the rapier goes in, and then you just see like the parts that are still sticking out. They like begin to glow white, and you kind of just see like a pulse of energy like travel down to the point of the rapier, like inside of the canopy stalker.
Mm-hmm. You lance it with holy energy, and it fully recoils and rolls back onto its flank. Not even fully coming to a stand, just landing on its kind of side and barely like limping. It's clearly still alive, but it is very, 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 very wounded.
Yeah. And then just because I can, I'll use help because I'm standing right next to Coral, and I get that as a bonus action. And I'll say something like I'll basically like again like try and distract the two canopy stalkers that are next to her.
I imagine we just see Adlo's kind of smaller frame just weaving in between Coral and leaping around, kind of keeping a very flashy show of distracting these two, as it's the cloak waving around and kind of getting in their eyes as they move. Thag,
Very
we're back to our
bland
kaiju fight.
and flowery.
If you will let her go, I will engage you, as prodigious a creature as you are.
Alright, very simple. He's gonna take a swing at the canopy stalker again.
Swing it.
Get him.
Ooh, a 10 does
What is
not
the-
hit.
I got the.
Oh, you get your
1d4.
plus d4.
Oh, that might help you here.
That did
Ooh,
not.
that was an 11.
11 is not going to do it for you. I'm sorry, friend.
Alright, that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Alright, that's it.
Coriander.
Yeah, so the guy down here is running, is what I could sort of figure, and I can figure this guy is not much of a problem. Between the one to the left, upper left there, and the one that Thag is fighting, which of those seem more in one piece? Like,
I'd say they look about equally in the fight.
yeah, okay. I think Corey doesn't. Like, I think he turned towards the guy that's running to the south with the bow, but instead of targeting him, it's like his bow is still pointed there in case he needs to have it. But then a different hand comes up, and instead of pulling a arrow, it pulls just a dart. Like the corner just becomes a leaf-shaped dart. And I'm still gonna use a bonus action to not move and get advantage, but I'm gonna target this guy up here that's Thag is not fighting. No one's. Or Aldo's the only one engaging. So,
Go for it.
a dart.
9 plus 4, 10, 11, 12, 13. Still shy.
And that's with the +4. Damn it. All right.
Oh, do you get
I-
your plus d4?
Yeah.
That's with
Oh.
a D4.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
my +4. I had it.
Just shy.
Wow, you
Yeah.
rolled a 9 both times.
Right?
Yeah.
The game
A 9
decided
and
it
a
was
4.
going to be 13. Well, anyways. It's a weird
Any more?
shot. Like, I have to do it between two people. No, it's all like
Then it's just this last one here, which is going to start slinking away, just slowly trying to recoil and limp back towards the tree line.
You guys want
Anybody
to together. Yeah.
Reaction attacking?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
It's up to
Well,
you.
it's running away.
It is not putting up a fight right now. It's just limping away.
I don't get a lot of reaction stuff, so
Yeah, it's fair.
Do it.
also.
Then
Send a
I'll
message
stop
to
right
one of
here.
them has to know.
Oh wow, does a 22
hits.
hit?
Don't even bother with the damage roll. How does it happen? I honestly say, given that you can do I forget what the rules are for dealing non-lethal. It's not disadvantage, right?
No. You should decide you're doing non-lethal. And you
Yeah.
have to be using not a spell. It has to be a weapon.
I thought
Then,
it
yeah.
had to only. I thought it could only be a bludgeoning weapon. Did that?
That was
change?
the old D&D rules. 5th
Yep.
edition
Cool.
specified that just...
If you want to deal non-lethal damage, I will fully allow that here. I think that's totally up to you.
I mean, so is there a strong reason for me to deal non-lethal damage? Party
If you don't want to kill it.
Adlo may or may not have a bit of a problem with canopy stalkers specifically.
Oh,
Fair
wow.
and valid.
Um,
In that case, then just tell me how it happens.
I guess just I guess as it goes to retreat, he'll just say something like, "I won't let you escape."
It is barely able to even respond
and-
to your lunge.
You
You
all right,
leap
Peter?
forward. Sorry, go ahead, please. Yeah, you too.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Well, that's it for
Jump.
him.
All right.
Yeah, Coral, you watched the one campus stalker to your right that you were tussling with go down. The other one definitely seems unhappy about that, and is going to take a swing at you. It looks like.
Wait, hold
first
on.
one.
Hold. Oh, damn. Shit.
Who's it aiming for?
It's you, Coral.
Oh, okay, well then 24 is gonna hit.
7 damage.
Not bad.
Second one. How's the 6?
Nothing.
Okay, cool. I had to check. I think I'm gonna make a roll here. Actually, give me a second to check something real quick, friends. To GM, let's do that. Okay. Then yeah, that's the end of the turn there. Top of the round. He's gonna keep running and jump for the tree line, and he's gonna take the hide action. Actually, do just that. That's it for him. Coral, it's back over to you.
All right. Well, if you're sure you're fine, then Coral's gonna go ahead and punch this one again.
15 hits,
How's a 5?
5 damage.
I think after getting hit, she's gonna go ahead and pop the defensive field and gain 3 temp hit points.
All right. What's it look like when you pop a defensive field from your enhanced pseudo power armor?
It looks like sort of like, I think lightning kind of like crawls down the articulated segments of her armor and forms a almost like a thin layer of ozone around her, almost like a secondary shield, sort of. Like, it's gonna take a little bit to
Interesting.
punch through it.
Interesting. Yeah, Adlo, as you manage to like finish off and take a breath from coming back from the canopy stalker that you ended, you take a breath and look over and see, Coral kind of briefly coalesce with lightning and stand sort of almost directly next to you still, as this canopy stalkers, they still seem like they have fight in them, but there definitely was a moment where the two remaining kind of cut eyes to each other, it looks like, maybe. Thag, we're back over at your friend. who is gonna try to do his thing before he does anything else. 20 hit ya?
Oh yeah.
It's 11 slashing.
All right. Ouch.
And then secondarily, does a 23 hit you?
Oh, absolutely.
That's 10 slashing.
Damn, I'm down.
Oof.
That was a lot of damage.
Enraged by the loss of its friend, this cave stalker just drives forward and even through Thag's enlarged side, just pins into the ground and starts clawing and ripping at him. And while, Thag isn't looking like he's literally like dead or dying, he definitely looks like he is being like withered under the assault of this thing. And as Thag drops down, I do think it's going to go ahead and break away, and it's gonna just run up the log here to, about there. Seems like about as far as it can get. Yeah, and it'll stop there. As Thag drops to the ground, Katya, it's up to you.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it.
Do it.
Please, dear God, make me roll more than a natural 2. A
19 hits.
Let's go. That's
For
a max
10 damage.
Max damage. Holy shit.
And there's no save for that, so it's not going to help for our
No
Arcanivore at all.
save, and also one of my invocations is where is it? Lance of Lethargy. So when I hit a creature with that Eldritch Blast, I can reduce that speed until my next turn by 10 feet. So
All right. That's actually
10
going to
feet.
really help you. Wow. Fuck.
not getting away.
All right.
Okay, that's me.
Katya, you
Don't like
turn
that
and
measuring
blast.
distance you did just there, GM.
Any response? Oh, I forgot y'all can see that. Any vocal responses to watching Thag get like dropped by this thing before it breaks off?
It's like, someone help! It points. Blast.
Adlo, it's up to you.
Oh, is it my turn?
Mhm.
Sweet, I can help. So yeah, I'll go over to Thag's now very massive frame. And let's check this. Okay. I will lay my hands on Thag.
All right, I think this is actually a really interesting narrative moment because Adlo, if you will, I imagine you were like, I don't want to say lost in rage, but definitely very focused on the fight in that moment where you were taking down the canopy stalker. I want to zoom in on that moment of you kind of like refocusing and recentering and going to go and help Thag now. What's that like for you internally? What happens there? Take me in there.
I think there's a shift in the focus from neutralizing the threat to protecting the people who are with me. So as soon as I see Thag go down, I guess my thoughts turn to we can't lose him, or we can't. So I zip over to him, and I will use Lay on Hands to give him, let's say 10 health.
D&D rules means Thag, you spring back into the fray, suddenly reconscious as a gust of, I imagine Adlo is just like, holy energy kind of pouring out of your hands directly into Thag as you kind of like, press your hands on him. Does that seem like an appropriate image here?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Thag, you feel a warmth and light kind of present to you from clearly outside of your own being as your eyes suddenly jolt back open and you see some of the worst of your wounds begin to stitch themselves closed.
Whoa, that was weird. Thanks.
So that's just
Must
so
have blacked
casual.
out for a
That was
moment.
It is too early for your light to be snuffed out.
Aww. That was cute. I ship it. Sorry. Anything more from you, Adlo?
I'll help, I guess.
You still got movement if you need to do any more movement.
That's true, but I believe that was an action, so I can't attack.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, you can attack, but you can get into my face if you want.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I'll move here. Yes.
Alrighty. And I'll let that help action still apply through. Thag, you're back in the fray now, meaning you can do some things.
All right. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use a bonus action to second wind. So I regain 1d10 plus my fighter level. I'll just roll
1d10 plus 3. 8 health back.
All right, that's
Not bad. Back above half.
That's
And then I'm gonna walk up to this canopy stalker and I'm gonna smack it.
Go for it. A 14 hits.
All right.
so close.
Roll damage.
Oh,
Piece of
gosh.
There.
16?
Also, I forgot about this. I have great weapon fighting. I can reroll ones and twos.
Oh
So
shit!
I'm
You
gonna
sure
do that.
can.
Nice.
That's phenomenal.
Nope, it was a one.
Damage is the same.
How many
Well-
times can you reroll once?
Just
No, yeah, so, no, you turn and just
Oh, wait, I
wheel
can
around
reroll
with the thagomizer, as it were.
Oh, no, I can't.
And we get a nice camera angle of like it traveling through the air with some good motion lines, and it smashes into the side of this thing. You think if you hit this thing any harder, Thag, it might have gone flying. It reels, like fully rolls twice over. Like Adlo, you have to like dodge out of the way to avoid this thing maybe rolling over on you. As Thag hits it so hard, it just rolls over. It does not look good. It comes up and is like dazed and clearly out of it and like trying to regather its focus and looking for friends or what to do, and doesn't seem like it knows what to do right now. Corey.
Just checking that the dude to the south, he is hidden. I don't
He's
know where he's
hidden.
at. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe I'd have to use an action actually to search for someone who's hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, man, Corey's just picked a spot and stayed there, but it's just really useful. I'm just gonna archer dude up here that's going
Getting
up
your
the wall.
Legolas on. Go for it.
Yep. But again, because I have advantage if I sit still, might as well.
You might as well do it. As if you needed it. Yeah.
That's a 17.
Oh, yeah, Corey, what's it look like?
This is just a clean shot. Like it's a smooth pivoting on the spot, so his whole body's aligned with this longbow shot. And again, just pulls it out of the cloak. And there's like the faintest moment before he lets loose of just one tiny adjustment up, and it zings through the air. And I think probably just right through the eye. It just seems like the spot.
It turns and roars at you, Katya, like it's about to make a powerful leap right at you before an arrow sails clean in, and it just
Put a
slumps
bit of an
and
arc,
drops.
so it goes like right in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Slumps and drops down on the log. Very dead.
That's
Anything
all
more
I got.
from you, Corey?
nice.
Up next is his friend, and I'm gonna go ahead and remake that roll at disadvantage real quick. Let me. Yeah, no, that's looking bad. The last Canopy Stalker makes a pained whine, and it looks like a roar, but it's not a roar of aggression. It's a roar of stay back, like I'll still bite you, don't kill me, as a thing.
Mhm.
It looks like it's trying to look for a way to break away and run. Or like it looks like if it's frozen. It's in the middle of that fight or flight response where it looks like if any of you move like you're going to attack it or still aggress, it will still swing and defend itself. But it's weary on its legs. Anybody reacting to that or doing anything, or is
I mean, it's not really my turn, but and I'm also not good at charisma, but Corey would think you could scare it off. A good charisma check.
I can try to intimidate it.
that's an option, absolutely.
Would you be doing that? Or would Odlo do that, or would Aldo kill it, considering the last one? I'm just asking that character question.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know. I'd want to think that maybe Adlo, in the course of helping Thag, has like regained some of his composure a bit.
Fair, fair.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that since it's the two of us right in front of it, we kind of share a look and both maybe shrug.
Yeah,
Thag
and
shrugs.
Yeah.
I think I'll save any further turns unless anybody really wants to make the attack.
Oh, him. Corey's gonna be staring at that bush down there until he figures out if that thing's gone or not.
Then I think things settle into a slow, lulling quiet as this thing will just continue to kind of make those low, groaning half roars at you all. Again, still clearly on the defensive, but again, it's more just survival, not trying to hunt you all.
Damn.
One on intimidation.
Adlo, are you rolling with that? Are you actually trying to like scare it to run or what?
Yeah.
I don't know what happens.
I don't know. I'm struggling to think of how a tiny rat man can successfully like intimidate a large tree animal, but
You did just kill
Make
two
a lot
of his
of noise
friends,
and-
so
yeah.
Make a loud noise and slap it on the side of the snout with the flat of the blade or something. I don't know.
I was thinking about something like, just drawing the rapier and like, I don't know, maybe try and swat it.
Yeah.
yeah. You
Do,
give it a
cosmetic damage.
you draw the rapier and you see it flinch, like clearly knowing what that's about to be, and then you bring it down somewhat and just kind of swat it. And you swat it again, and then a third time, and it clearly gets up, and there's, a limp in its stride, certainly, but it straddles away. You'll see it nudge the leg of the other one somewhat, and unless you all stop it, it's going to lean down with its mouth and grab the leg of the other one and start just slowly slinking away. And while you do notice very briefly two other tree croppings begin to rustle as if in motion, they stop only shortly after. A brief flash of a furred pelt moving through the trees in retreat. There may have been one or two other ones waiting to ambush you all any further, but I think seeing the way things went, they clearly thought better of it, and well, these two will depart into the trees and be gone. And the forest returns to the strange quiet it was in seemingly only moments ago. Back to you, friends.
I do think even in that stillness, and for probably for everyone else, an uncomfortable amount of time later, Corey is still in this crouched pose of looking at the tree to the south and often checking to the north. He's still in a they could be ambushing us again in a second mode for a little while. I mean, I'll roll anything to be sure that's not happening, but I think that's regardless of if he can tell they leave or not, that's sort of his mode.
If you really want to roll it, I'll allow perception, but I think you're a smart enough person to know Corey. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
I think you all made it very clear you are not an easy meal.
Yeah. It's 22, but it doesn't really... Like I said, it's still what he does regardless, if he knows or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thang's gonna huff a bit, put the hammer down, with the head against the ground, shrink back to normal side and go, that could have gone a lot better.
That was so scary. I didn't think those things were real. How are the stories real? I've been out here so many times and I've never seen them.
Better question. Anybody know if they're
you...
edible?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could find
Who's
out.
got nature?
Not me.
Not me.
Friends, I'll save you the roll.
Corey does.
I mean, Knowing how to cook them might be a whole different thing, but yes, you can eat a canopy stalker.
Well, generally, predators tend to be kind of gamey.
Yeah, again, it's gonna be gamey, absolutely, but yeah, I mean, it's meat. You cook and season, you season and cook some meat. It's meat, you know.
I think eventually Corey does stop out of that mode. It would take too long to clean it. We are trying to get somewhere, and I don't know about you, but I have rations.
That's a shame. I would have liked to have tried it. Maybe next time.
You carry it to the camp then. And I think that Corey starts settling back into awkwardness now that the event is over. Anyways.
Got some spare rope if you'd like to lug it.
No, it's okay. I think it'd be too much trouble.
You can all notice on the canopy stalker that is its corpse reposed on the log, there is a faint bit of sparkly dust almost beginning to slowly waft off of its body. Visual magic left in it just disintegrating and dissipating back into the air. Like anything else, nature will reclaim this. It's simply the way of things.
Because that's Corey's kill, I do think there is one last moment, before he starts leaving. As looks to it, and it's like a small gesture of just holding in front of him, and it's I'm trying to think of something good for a hunter, because he grew up near the woods. He went on a lot of hunting expeditions, I think probably with his father, and it's something to the effect of may the forest reclaim you, is an aphorism of hunters.
Absolutely, I love it.
Then he puts his bow back in.
A brief moment of solace for those that have been lost. Coral and Adlo, you're able to easily ready your rope. And I think with the benefit of no longer being on your toes and watching for an ambush, it's now a lot easier to focus on the climb down. And so without having to make any rolls or checks, and with the help of your friends who have rigged up various climbing things like that, or who have climbing speeds, you're all able to pretty simply and calmly make your way through and down towards the cavern and, out of here. Anything left to say to each other, friends, as you make your way through this forested path towards the clearing you all will call your home for the night?
I think Corey would save the conversation for at the campsite, to be honest.
Mood.
All right, then. I think we'll open tomorrow. We'll open our next episode.
Next time.
We'll open our next time on some quiet campfire conversation as you all settle in for the evening and prepare to keep making your way towards the old hollow. That said, as nature returns this scene to silence, we turn this episode towards its close. I want to thank you all for coming out to the premiere episode of Steel and Arbor. I have missed this table so much I literally almost said Seven Sons just now. I could talk so much. I know. I could talk so much about this incredible fucking cast and all the things that they do, but I think if you all have been lucky enough to pay attention to the last 3.5 hours, you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about without even saying it. So instead, I'll simply pass the torch around a couple more times and let our folks say who they are, who they played tonight, what they're going to be on the internet, and what other cool stuff they have coming up, and we'll let them depart from there. Starting in random call-out order, let's kick it off with Heck this time.
Oh my god, okay. Hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. I'm here, I'm on your screen. And I played Katya. And I hope you like her. I like her a lot. She is a Mapok warlock. Yeah, you can find me all over the internet at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Itch, Blue Sky, etc., etc. Just find me. It's the best place to figure out where I'm going to be in the TTRPG space next, because I tend to wander a lot, do a lot of things, wear a lot of hats. It's a pretty hectic time. Most notably for the near future, you can find me here every other Monday for Oathsworn Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. It is a great time. We took a short hiatus, so we will be back. Not next Monday, but the Monday after. In that same week, on that Tuesday, I am over on Enchanting Sorcery for the epilogue episode of Into the Old Margrave, so we're at the very end of that. It is Into the Woods inspired campaign that you'd be catching at the very end. But there's plenty of VODs to catch up, and if you like that kind of thing, that's where they are. Every other Thursday, you can find me over on Crits and Giggles TTRPG, and I almost call it Queen's Gambit because I'm like in such like a nostalgia mode. Oh my god. It's all
Let's
Hail
take
the
us all
Queen.
back.
It's all Hail the Queen now. It has been for a long time. Jesus Christ. It's a Tyranny of Dragons campaign. And we're kind of end level stuff too. We're level 19 and it's wild out there. Yeah, that's me. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Well, I love the way you talk, Heck, and I'm very glad to
Oh.
have gotten the chance to table with you again. Passing it next over to Dan.
Hey, that's me. I'm Len the Dan. I played Adlo the Paladin. Only other thing I'm really in is The World Within You, our Voidheart Symphony campaign, inspired by the likes of Jet Set Radio and Persona, but that is on hiatus right now. So I guess I'll see you back here for the next episode of this. Oh, and follow
We'll
me
be
on Blue
incredibly
Sky
glad
at
to have
Land
you
Dan.
here. Yeah, follow Dan and Land the Dan.
Yeah.
We'll be incredibly glad to have you here. And please, once again, send all of your regards and congratulations to the GM of The World Within You, our own legendary Vermin, who has just broadened their family a little bit.
Yeah.
Sending you all of our love and thank you, Vermin. We love you so much. Your being is so beautiful, and I'm so fucking happy for you, friend. Up next, let's take it over to Michelle.
Hey, it's me, Michelle. I played our Autofolk Insane Inventor today, and you can find me here. And here, that's it.
Exclusively signed contract. Tried to get Heck to sign one
Moving
too, but she
on.
actually read the fine print for some reason. And was like, I don't know. What's this soul clause over here? That seems a little bit
Oh.
weird. And I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
We're the sole channel that you can appear on. That's it.
Exactly.
Your
Well,
soul can only appear on this channel.
Michelle, incredibly glad to have you along for the ride. Then I'm still glad we can sit tableside together again. It brings me so much fucking joy. Passing it along next to the one and only Lucian.
Hey, that's me. I'm Lucian. I played Thag Shrubs, our resident gardener. Something to one giant won't folk. You'll see me here again next week in a different show, and then a week after that on this show again, because I've perfectly done one show a week, and I plan on keeping it that way.
What?
That's
What do you
fair.
mean you're not in 4 games a week? That's wild.
Hey, who knows? Give it like a year or two.
Mood. Well, Lucian, I told you enough how much we've been looking forward to having this finally happen. So it's so good to see you here and in this character again, finally. Thank you again for being here. Last but certainly not fucking least, we pass it over to Tate.
Hello, Twitch, and hello, Internet. My name's Tate Washburn, and I have played Coriander de Clement, the Lapin rabbit folk, fancy word for rabbit folk, scout rogue who is, like I said, just trying his best. He's not good with people, but he is good with the wilds and violence. So we got to see both sides of what he's comfortable and not comfortable with. I have had a lovely time playing him, and you can find me at Tate the Terrific at any place I care to be found. If you find me somewhere else, no, you didn't. What you'd really do is follow this channel's Blue Sky at Neon Lights Roleplay, because it's run by several people funnier than me, and it's also where we announce cool shows and things we're doing. Or join us on the Discord, where we meme and we stream, and we pick up players for games sometimes. And, you know, it's also where we will announce stuff even before it gets on other social medias. You will next find me running the excellent adventure, I am just falling over my words, of Knights of New Avalon, a Beacon Odyssey. To all those who seek adventure, justice, and big damage numbers that come out of the enemy's head, join us on Saturday for the beginning of our next quest. Out of that, you'll find me here.
Glad to have acquainted you with another table of mine, Tate. It's always good to have you sitting story side with me, and I'm glad we got to make this happen finally. Lastly, friends, of course, I'm Young Foxy. aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Philly's finest. I can be found all over the internet at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII. If you can't find underscore emails. If you can't find one, look for the other. You'll next find me all over this lovely channel of ours. I play in all kinds of things that are handled on here. But so keep an eye on what we're doing and what's happening here for us going forward. I can't think of anything more to say except that I'm so fucking glad to have finally put the story in front of your faces with this lovely cast of incredibly wonderful balls of humanity who are just the best people I've ever gotten the opportunity to work with. That said, we have been Neon Lights Roleplay. This has been Thiel and Arbor, and you have all been incredible. Please have a wonderful night and take care of yourselves, friends.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.